Okay, so all right, I'm on the. Let me refresh this because I think. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. All right, so she's not going to be able. I didn't even get a message. She says she's not able to. So it's just me and you.
Just me and you.
Okay, I don't remember seeing Keisha's message. Okay, I don't know where she sent it. I didn't get it in the usual. It was in the IG chat. I should have messaged you here. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and get this show started on the road. And you know what? I wanted to bring in some other things this evening, but we can still do that because I kind of wanted to touch on the March preview.
Ooh.
Have you seen? I think I posted that in the group chat. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what's on the horizon with the gates.
There's a lot of talk. It is everywhere. Every news outlet you can think of, they're
Mm-hmm.
talking about the gates.
Yeah, so I know people were looking for a standalone video for that, but I'm like, no, we're going to talk live
Mm-hmm.
about this one. Because somebody was like, oh, I can't wait till you guys talk about this, and I'm stay tuned for the video. Nope, we're going to talk about this with you guys live tonight. So I want to make sure I put that out there. Yeah, there are a lot of questions, and one of the questions Adita just dropped is whether or not Bold is being replaced by the Gates. Now that I don't know. I'm going to just answer that right off the bat. There's a lot of speculations because of contracts and things like that. So we'll get into that later. We got to get through these soaps for the week of I don't know if you've seen it. When I created my photos, I always put like Bold and the Beautiful in the beginning week. Like, so say for example, the week of the 11th is coming up, right? But when I was typing up Bold and the Beautiful and Young and the Restless for this week, it was 304.
Oh, wow.
All I could do was laugh. I was like, Bold
It
and Beautiful
happens.
304. And, this is the week of March 4th through the 8th.
Yeah.
But when I was typing up, I was like, 304.
This whole year has gone by. I feel like I'm still on last Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, so much is going on. And the year is just going by. Just, my goodness,
I
I can
know
hardly
it's
feel it.
flying. It's flying, right? All right,
Exactly.
let me do my formal introduction. I know we were like 5 or 6 minutes late, so I want to go ahead and dive into these, and then we'll, talk about some of that other stuff. So, welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where tonight it's gonna be me, myself, T, and Bree. We're going to be recapping both The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful for the week of March 4th through March 8th. I would say Young and the Restless had a lot of moving parts. Bold had a couple of run-on storylines. Majority of it had to do with Steffy and Fan, but Young and the Restless. Just looking at the screen, it was so many different storylines this week.
So many unnecessary situations.
Oh my god, girl!
Poor Phyllis.
I know, right? Poor Phyllis, poor Ashley. It's just like, oh my goodness. So, what we normally do, if you are new here, we recap The Young and the Restless in the first half of the show, The Bold and the Beautiful in the second half of the show. We have a little brief intermission, do a little housekeeping, and then we have two segments at the end, flipping the script and who's taking several seats. So flip the script is if there's a particular scene or storyline that you wish you could change. That's where we flip the script. And then who's taking some seats? Somebody that was doing too much, got on your nerves. They need to go sit down. Liam, Hope, you know, people like them this week. All right. And so that's what we do when we do our flip. Okay, so without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with The Young and the Restless. I'm going to do a summary, and Bree and I will break down the storylines. Okay, so for the Young and the Restless, for the week of March 4th through March 8th. Hold on 1 second. Oh, shoot. Okay, I know what I did wrong. I clicked the wrong thing. Alright, so March 4th. Here we go. Oh, no, that's bold. I'm sorry. My screen is not in the right area.
No, it shows Y&R. I see
No,
Chelsea and
no,
Adam.
on my phone, my notes.
Oh, I got you. I got
Yeah, it
you.
was my notes. Okay, so here we go. All right, so after shoving Seth into traffic, Jordan. Oh, wait a minute. That's May 4th. That's May 5th. First, Connor learns he has OCD, and Phyllis badgers Abby and fantasizes about Danny as he chooses Christine. After shoving Seth into traffic, Jordan put on a new disguise while Nikki learns that Seth is gone. Jordan sets Victoria's house on fire. Nikki blames herself for Seth's death, and Danny invites Christine on tour. Victoria is sobbing watching her house burn down. Ashley hears voices and lies to Abby as Nikki calls Jack in distress. Nikki wants Jordan gone. Victor catches her with Jack with the bottle, and Tucker knows that something is not right when it comes to Ashley. Got it?
That's a lot.
Mm.
that was a lot. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to begin. That is it's a pretty decent week for Y&R, I will say that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's go ahead and knock out the storyline with Adam, Chelsea, Connor, and Billy. At first, I will say the previous week when that whole argument ensued with Billy and Adam, I'm like, why is Billy there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But after seeing Monday's episode and realizing obviously all four of them have had some sort of mental health situation where they require counseling, I can see why now they put all of them in that scene.
Absolutely. I was one of the people last week who didn't care for Billy being a part of that particular storyline, because let Adam be his father, let Chelsea be the mom, let them work that out. But I think for far as Billy particularly, he can kind of identify with the little boy in a way, and he's also kind of like a safe space for Connor. Who's close to situations, so Connor doesn't have to constantly explain himself, and he cares enough. He cares enough about the mom to care also about Connor as well. But he's a safe space, and he wouldn't be judgmental. So I guess I was kind of okay with them all being together, and it wasn't such a mess. They really focused on that child, and I was looking up OCD, and I didn't realize Howie Mandel is going through that. He because I saw the commercials, I was like, oh, okay, and I looked it up, and I was like, I didn't realize he's going through OCD, but it's a real thing, and poor baby to be going through that.
I know, right? And I gotta say that Young and the Restless, when they had the doctor talking to Connor, and they were itemizing everything that he was doing, how he would count certain things in numbers, and he washes his hands because he want to worry about germs and things like that. They obviously got in touch with someone to actually help them script that out, to really nail it home that he had that specific condition. So I think they did a really good job with that one, And then, like I say, after seeing what this was really about, I was like, okay. I figured, because Young and the Restless is good at doing awareness campaigns on their show.
Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And what they just had the one about hearing, and oh my goodness, what else? And actually, Nikki's storyline
Mm-hmm.
is a very long, drawn out, but very impactful message to learn from, because we see her struggling, people around her who are struggling, the people that she's dragging into her alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they really do a great job as far as awareness.
Mm-hmm.
But when it affects children, it hits different.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. When it's children, it's a whole lot different. And it was nice because we really haven't had, we had with the adults certain awareness situation, like when Nikki had MS, some of the other things that had happened on the show. But now they actually have one with childhood, mental situations. So I thought that, yeah, I really enjoyed that actually. Because at first I was like, Billy, why is he there? And then we actually had a bonding moment, it seems like, with Billy and Adam.
I mean, they got kids in common.
Mm.
They got Chelsea in common. They got some things to talk about if they wanted to.
But they have been, but I guess what I'm talking
Enemies.
about, the conversation where he said, um, well, after that whole story that Billy ran about him getting rid of his stepfather or whatever, he went to counseling. And Billy was like, when I ran you off the edge of the cliff, I went to counseling. So they kind of like, it was a moment of them understanding that they needed to do something
Yeah.
about the choices that they were going to make moving forward after those traumatic situations.
Do you feel they're contemplating choices as far as moving forward and coexisting, or just choices individually?
I think it was choices individually because they couldn't stand each other. They couldn't even be in the same space long enough. I think this is the first time. Yeah, I'm serious, girl. This is the first time that they actually sat down and had a cordial conversation where they actually could connect on the same ideas or the same I wouldn't say struggle, but they connected on the same level when it came to needing help after dealing with something.
Let me say something real quick. Adam's slowly getting his redemption. Well, not
Mhm.
he's slowly making peace with the people in Genoa City to some
Mhm.
degree. He got back with Sally. He and Nick are on
Mhm.
speaking terms.
Mhm.
Nick hasn't. Nick has been peaceful, and he's sexy to look at again. Uh, he is in a co-CEO position in Newman,
mhm.
and he's showing his work ethics.
Mhm.
He's not trying to kill Billy. I mean, this is
It's
strength.
progress. I mean, like you said, he is definitely seeming to be getting a redemption, because of the fact that, like you say, him and Nick are cool. He's
Mm-hmm.
working, him and his dad. Victoria ain't throwing him under the bus every 5 minutes lately, even though I don't think she's cool with him. I just think she's mentally occupied.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Nikki. Nikki got so many other things to focus on. She can't fuss it at him right now. But it's kind of giving him a break from Victoria and Nikki. But when it comes to Victor, Billy, and Nicholas, he's, they were able to have a decent conversation and kind of sit down. Now the question is, after this whole Connor thing, are they gonna go back to fussing at each other? Now we passed that Monday's episode.
I hope they keep this going, because this is actually a good look for Adam. It's nice to hear people not complain about
Mm-hmm.
Adam,
Mm-hmm.
and well, except for Sally with her ungrateful. Oh
Yeah,
Lord.
that's a girl. We didn't even see her this week.
Good, or Chloe, good,
Mm-hmm.
but but it's just, I want to keep Adam on this path. Like just let him be for like a year. Like he has a girlfriend. He's doing good at his job. His brother is a decent human being again. Um, these things are looking up.
Yeah.
But I'm glad for the peace, the peace for that scene between Billy and Adam.
Right.
That could change the next day.
Yeah, because who knows? By next week, they'll be at each other's throats. So I hope they at least, you know, give us a reprieve for a moment with those two getting along. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All right. So, what I think that was the only thing that particular day. Oh, no, it wasn't. Okay, so then on that same episode, we had Phyllis trying to set up this dinner date at Society.
Oh my lord.
Okay, my thing is you barely I don't think she ever got her money back that Jeremy Stark stole from her, right?
I would assume so, because I'm like, how do you have the money to buy out a restaurant when
Thank you.
you're on your son's payroll right now?
Exactly. That's why I was sitting up there thinking like, wait a minute, she buying out her restaurant? Shut the place down just for her. She's paying Abby out of all people. You know Abby didn't give it to her cheap, right? Because Abby, she's not really cool with Phyllis. But you on your son, like you just said, you on your son's payroll. You
And I didn't Tucker give her 2 million to cover her debt, but I mean, but she still has she's just working off of her son's paycheck. That's
Yeah, where do you have enough money that you can buy out a restaurant for a guy who you clearly know has been on the fence? It'll be one thing if he said, you know what, I choose you. Let's celebrate tonight. Whatever you want to do. And even still, I would think he would probably buy out the restaurant. Mr. Rockstar.
oh Lord.
She bought out the restaurant expecting this man to I guess she was going to think she was going to convince him to fall. Girl, I was like, this is just not a
She the
good look.
little red engine who can't, and I don't understand why she is just not reading the room or taking a hint. She is just choosing to be delusional.
Mm-hmm.
She is romanticizing delusion. She's happy in her delusion for him. Not
Mm-hmm.
just not, and there's no, once again, no offense to any of the actors, nothing. We're talking about the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Danny, you use 3 or 4 of your paychecks to rent out Abby's restaurant for Danny. When you could
Yep.
have went to the GCAC and just got a table for 2.
Exactly. And then she had to pretty much beg Abby to let her do it. Because Abby was like, she wasn't about to give Phyllis the time of day until she had cancellations. My last person is at 8:30, and if you still want it, I'll do it. But I'm like,
Abby is treating her restaurant like a Michelin star, a cuisine house or something like that. And why is she there? Didn't she put Tessa in charge?
well, I mean, she still owns the place, so I can understand why she would be there. And I guess I don't remember seeing Tessa there that night. It was just her. So, because I think Tessa's part time anyway.
Oh, that's right. That's true. That's
Mm-hmm.
true.
Mm-hmm. But that then takes us to Danny showing up with Christine. Girl,
He's pitiful. Just be a man about it. Just say you're not interested. Why are you agreeing to dinner in the first place, knowing how Phyllis is after 30 something years?
okay, so you remember he told Christine that the reason, and he told Phyllis this too. I want us to still be friends. Okay, that doesn't mean that you have to have dinner. You could be
It's
like, look, we can't have dinner, but I still want to co-parent and be friends with you because of the fact that we have a child and a grandchild.
That is so annoying to me. Daniel is grown. Lucy is almost out the door. So co-parenting what?
Well, I mean, I understand it because you got people that with kids that even are adults, you got that are not together. You got weddings, people have babies and things like that after they turn 18. So, I mean, co-parent, not per se like you would do a 5 or a 10-year-old, right?
Yeah, that's how he's treating it. I'm like, you all live in Genoa City. You will see her at uh what's the name of the coffee shop again?
Crimson Lights.
They'll all be at Crimson Light at the same time every day of the week, 24/8. So
You said 24/8.
it just he didn't have to make a whole declaration saying like, I want us to just be friends. Let's co-parent like Daniel's 5.
Yeah, I
No,
don't know.
he can step in and say, look, I'm not interested in you like that. You're a lovely person. I need to take accountability for kissing you and leading you on, because this is why you have the thought process in your head right now that I want you and I don't. But Phyllis at the same time, she should be intelligent enough to know when a man wants her.
At this
Every other
age,
man has given her the time and attention. She knows when those men want
girl.
her.
Well, listen, it gets worse on Monday.
I heard.
Why? Because she tries to sleep with Nicholas.
Back on that merry-go-round. So it wasn't Sharon. So now Phyllis is on the merry-go-round. Okay.
Listen, they need. See, my thing is they again, and we've said this before. They dropped the ball by not allowing Tucker and Phyllis to figure this out. Why y'all let that girl kiss him at Christmas, and then y'all just left it right there? Explore it.
Do you think that they're Kim testing? Like, I feel like they do with certain characters. They do like long extended Kim testing. I feel that's what they did with Summer and Chance at first. I feel that's what they're doing now with Hope and Finn. Ugh. And I feel this is kind of the same thing with Tucker and Phyllis. I feel later down the line, because Phyllis is still Phyllis. Tucker's going to ask her to do something for him, and she's going to get herself in trouble when she loves trouble, and boom, there's her love affair.
But the thing is, Bree, is that we haven't really since Christmas. We haven't even seen those two in the same space, and Christmas is now almost 4 months ago. And
He's wrapped up in Ashley
he's
and
wrapped up in
Audra.
Ashley and Audra. And then she's been wrapped up in Danny. And then they float her over to Nicholas. And it's like, why would you do this to her? At all the characters, I could see Audra doing that. But I mean, not saying that Phyllis don't, she has a history, being not as many as Sharon. But my thing is,
Oh, really?
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Sharon's been with more men than Phyllis?
In my opinion, I think so.
Oh, I'm going to do a stat review later on tonight.
Oh, okay,
I'm
go right
curious.
ahead. But the thing is that you got a legacy character like Michelle Stafford, who
Oh, yeah.
at 58 years old, looking as good as she looks, and she's
What?
begging. What?
She's 58 years old?
Yeah.
No, but and she's renting out Abby's restaurant.
I mean, the girl takes good care of herself, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And to have she should, the way even her wardrobe, her figure, yes, is she kind of on the wild side, but find that girl somebody instead of her
Exactly.
begging Danny. Girl, I
Of
can't.
all people. Oh my goodness. I would rather Phyllis and Adam. give her some heat, give her some spice. She looks incredible. I did not know she was 58. I thought she was like 51 or 52 or something like that.
Sharon Case is 50. She just turned 53.
They all look fantastic. Even Christine, she looks fantastic. She looked great at the Emmys.
And the same thing with Ashley. What's her real name?
Eileen Davidson.
Eileen Davidson. Yeah, she's another one that's up there around that same age group. They all look good.
They all look fantastic. And that's why we love to see, like, when we have like characters that interact with one another, they have that great chemistry. There's that heat. And when it disappears, it's like, what's going on? Like, why are you giving us the repetitive stuff versus, testing the waters and, see where that chemistry goes. Like, let's say this has like a quick affair or something for like a couple weeks. Just test the waters.
When Danny said he left and told Christine, why don't you go on tour with me? I'm like, thank you. Take her with you. We don't need the storyline. It suck. Nothing wrong with the character. I mean, the actor and the actress, but the storyline sucks. That's my problem with it.
And it went nowhere. So Christine came into town. I was going to say she left Paul, but Paul left her. So she is, I guess, in the process of getting a divorce. So she bickers and fights over Danny and left the police force to go on tour with an 80s rock star.
Girl. Exactly. So I'm like, you know what? Whoever wrote this storyline, if you're going to write them to take some time off from the screen, do it. Now, that also means leaving Phyllis here. If they're going to put her and Nicholas back together, don't do it like this. Because when you see Monday's episode, she's going to be again in a desperate position.
You know what I wish? I don't want Phyllis and Nick to be in a relationship. I just want them to hook up, to be honest. And like, when it comes to like the love sessions that they have on the show, they have always, for years, given hot, steamy love scenes.
Oh my God. Right quick. They said Eileen is 64.
What?
Let me look. Let me check.
They all look fantastic. I don't know what they do.
Well, I know that Michelle Stafford has her own skincare line.
And clearly is doing its job.
I think it's called Skin Nation or something. Yeah, she'll be 65 in June. Dang.
They all look fantastic.
Eileen does not look like she'll be 65. Oh my goodness.
Wow. They look incredible.
And I don't even think she got, how some people get like work done, right? And to no shade, people do what they want to do, right? But it doesn't look like she's got, unless she got some fillers or something. Now, I remember seeing Eileen on some skincare commercials back in the early 2000s, I think it was. I don't remember what it was. But
actually, didn't Tracy Bergman, didn't they come with the real Jabot cosmetic product? Because I remember they had it on QVC or something.
They might have, maybe so, but yeah, she looking darn good to be almost about to turn 65 in June. Holy moly.
And you're right, I've seen we've all seen like people who transform, and gotten more work done. And there's nothing wrong with that, getting touched by an angel, as long as you're not being touched with a baseball bat. Just make sure that the work is good. That's all I have to say.
They're saying Catherine Kelly Lang is in her 60s too.
And she looks fantastic. They all do, but I think that's just part of like just the Hollywood thing. They always
Well,
think there's some
I
other chick.
mean, honestly, you got to keep yourself up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially if you're going to, and that don't apply to everybody. I mean, some people, it depends on your genetics as well. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely.
you
But
know,
it's important to always just stay healthy and to love yourself.
so, but anyway, back on track. But I just,
Yeah.
that blew me away with Eileen being 65 this year. Holy crap.
And we're just this all started because we were like, Phyllis is stunning and she is begging. Granted, yeah, she did something heinous. Yeah, she has very few friends, as Danny pointed out on the last episode. It's just put her with somebody who just matches her energy. If you want to put her with Nick, fine. Don't do not put him in a full blown relationship, please. Just
Mm-hmm.
let them hook up. Just let them have hot steamy scenes, like because they could give a master class in that for Y&R because they always had the hot scenes.
Yeah. I don't know. Even, I guess it's a lack of single men on the show. You know what I mean? I mean, only person that's available right now is Nicholas, I think.
I mean,
That's not
I'm
involved in any triangles that, I mean, and Nate, but Nate and Phyllis? Nah.
no.
Mm-mm. You know,
Didn't she get with Malcolm at one point?
girl, but there's no Malcolm and that was long time ago. You know,
I'm just trying to find somebody for her. But I mean, these married men don't care on the show either.
yeah, but they're not even putting her in the vicinity. It seems like she's just a loose end trying to figure out where to put her. Because what's her storyline? Besides the fact of, remember, okay, so she had the storyline with trying to take down Diane, right? She had the storyline with helping Jack, get to LA to see Allie. She had the storyline with Nicholas before that, after she came back when Gina Tognoni left. But what is the storyline right now? Just her chasing Danny? There's no meat. She owned a business at one time when she owned the Grand Phoenix. She has no business. We never see her over at Chancellor Winters because that's where she technically works.
Hmm.
We've seen everybody over at Chancellor Winters.
Except for
How,
Daniel too.
except for who? Daniel? Well, we haven't even seen them on screen lately. I don't even. The last time we seen her, we'll see them next week.
Hmm.
But with her being on screen, all we see her doing is run around at the apartment to see Danny or just chasing him at the GCAC. It's like, put at work where everybody else is showing up at just something other than just this. You know what I mean?
I had because I was like practicing like doing recordings. I had did like a prediction or like a fantasy soap story thing. I actually kind of want Phyllis to um I wish they could bring like a younger guy, like in his 30s or like early 40s for Phyllis. I want her to kind of get with the guy who's younger. I would like to kind of see that storyline play out because I don't think I have seen it before. But I want to give her something fresh and exciting because the actress can give that. And it sucks when we have like incredibly talented actors like Sharon Case. Sharon Case can play a role any storyline you give her. She can cry on cue. She can pull out the emotions. But it's like some of the like our legendary, soap vets are not getting the storylines that we would like to see them in. And that's understandable. Like times change, but still, if they're on screen, give it to us. Give us the storylines we want with them.
They need to bring Ronan back for her.
Ooh, yeah. See, exactly.
Ronan would be
Exactly.
perfect for her right now.
Something fun, hot, steamy. I'd be okay if Phyllis wasn't in a relationship. Just have a little fun companion. But I also want her to get on her business sense as well. I would like
Mm-hmm.
to see that Phyllis too.
Yeah, and that's the part that we're missing because she was when she was running the Grand Phoenix, she would be back there doing computer stuff. Remember, she's also a hacker. She's an IT person. Technically, that's what she's supposed to be doing over at Chancellor Winters, but we never see her there. I don't. Have you ever seen her over there
Nope.
lately?
Nope.
We've
I don't
heard.
even. Did they acknowledge her as an employee?
All we know is Daniel gave her the job. That's it. But we don't never see. We've seen everybody else sashay through Chancellor Winters, but her, and she works at IT supposedly. So I don't know.
Unless
They,
she works remotely.
I guess, girl, they need to get her away from that Danny storyline. I hope that they do sashay the two of them out of town, and then she can refocus on something else.
Yeah, especially after she was talking after that wine, like, no, I need to get revenge on
Right.
Christine. Why? Girl, it's done. He don't care. He is perfectly fine with his house cat. Let him be.
I mean, but you see what she did. So I was actually happy for a moment when she was like, "You chose Christine. Go, go, go. Go be with her." You know what? I understand. And I thought she was like going to just bow out. Girl, when she sat down at that table and said what she said by saying, at first it wasn't a competition, but now it is, I'm like, oh gosh, girl, let it go.
Competing for what?
The man told you no. 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 How many times can he tell you no?
Just let them go on tour. I guess it's like a whole world tour. Let them go on a world tour and let this be. Please give Phyllis a storyline where she's not working underneath her son. She is about her business sense and would start like an IT company. I wish she had just worked with Sharon.
Yeah, because for a minute she was trying to, right? I think it was.
That would have been an unlikely but fun partnership to watch. And I would have been okay with that. And isn't Nick Sharon's partner right now, and we don't even see them together?
Exactly. Girl, I guess when they get so focused on one big storyline, which is this Jordan thing, it tend to leave a lot of open ends to other storylines. So,
Oh, Aditha? Aditha, we see Phyllis just likes to break up couples.
yeah, girl. Well, at least we can say right now, with her trying to do what she's trying to do with Nick next week, he ain't in a coupling.
No.
He's single as a Pringle. So, all right, let us keep it moving, girly, girly, girly. Didn't I tell you it's a lot of moving parts?
Yeah, a lot of unnecessary moving
You
parts,
said
but we moving along though.
she said a lot of unnecessary moving parts. All right, so I know we kind of touched on this one. Seth, why did you
Oh,
open your mouth and show your hand to a psychopath?
there's stupidity and then there's clinically insane. I don't know which to put this man in. You already know what was up. You already had a plan with Nikki. You
Right.
had a plan with Nikki. Why
Mm-hmm.
are you even around Jordan? Why are you even Why are you saying anything? And you know what I wish? I wish Nikki had just put like a tracker or like a wire on him or something to listen into the conversation. But at the same time, this idiot exposes the plan, and rightfully so, Jordan pushes him in the street. Rightfully so.
Even the steps moving up to it, you turn your back on a cycle. She could, even if she didn't do anything, with his back turned, she could have easily ran the other way.
Yeah.
Even if she didn't push him, or take him out by pushing him in front of their car, his back was turned to her. She could have ran back inside. She could have ran down the street the other way. Dude, it just he made a lot of non-smart moves.
Yep. And isn't he like her first victim officially?
Well, no, because she set the prison on fire. It's like some casualties in that fire.
Oh, right. Oh my
She
goodness.
got she
Okay.
got a lot of. You think Finn had blood on the hand that he picked up? She got a lot more. She covered in it.
Okay, so she's really taking Sheila's torch. Okay, she's doing okay so far with the year. I'll
See,
give
and
her.
here's the thing, and I think I talked when we were on the live Wednesday. The
Hmm.
difference between I think Sheila, and this is just my opinion, the difference between Sheila and Jordan. Sheila, it was always in retaliation because of the fact that either she felt trapped or she felt like what's the word I want to use, she wanted love and people were keeping her from it. That's all she wanted to be, was loved, right?
Hmm.
Jordan is just being, she has zero empathy at all. I can't see her saving a kid. She wanted she wanted to unalive her own niece this week versus
Yeah.
Sheila, who actually, as much as her and Steffy didn't get along, she still had enough empathy to save her daughter.
Well, in the later years, because didn't Sheila take out her own mother and sister or something at one point on YNR?
Probably so. I don't even remember. I'm
Yeah.
right now within this past with this Jordan, because Jordan wasn't even
Hmm.
nowhere around back then. But between the comparison of them two now, you know,
Yeah, the Jordan is severely petty. She is taking on the torch for her sister, who's not even, who's not
I
even around.
mean, she was so mad this week that she burnt down Victoria's house, not because she just
Well,
wanted as a sign. She actually thought Claire and Victoria were in it.
that's sick work.
And you
But you,
pushed a man to his death in front of a car.
that's very sick work to want to do that to your niece,
Mm-hmm.
who you were her primary mother figure prior to having Victoria back in her life. That is insane. Like, I poor Claire. I hate that she did that, but this is a great villain. Like, I'm torn. Like, I hate what's happening, but at the same time, oh, that Janet is killing it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Colleen Zink is rocking and
I'm
rolling
sorry,
with this.
Colleen. My apologies.
You're so crazy.
I said Janet. I'm sorry. There was a picture of Janet.
You're so funny.
There was an alert for Janet. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Jordan is just like, I don't care whoever is in my way. I don't care if you family. If you some dude I tried to use to get to somebody, I want you. I'm taking you out.
Yeah, and like Nina DeMonte said, she had a busy evening. She sure did. She
Mm-hmm.
she made sure she utilized those 24 hours.
And like Cheryl Hines said, that Jordan and Eve wasn't even close. Why are you taking up a torch from an estranged sister? Now, granted, this baby was the grandchild of your sister, but you two weren't even that close. And you doing all of this because she couldn't get with a dude?
A billionaire who's been with a bunch of women.
And see, I remember saying this conversation over, I don't know if it was a couple months ago or so. Even if Eve got with Victor, she was only going to, her time, would have been on borrowed time because of the fact that
Exactly.
Victor switched wives like his wardrobe. And then at the end of his years, he ended up back with Nikki.
I mean, well, Nikki chose to be shuffled and drive like crazy. But her and Ashley actually. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, I can see if Jordan was involved,
Right.
if she was involved, but
Mm-hmm. No. I mean, so my question is, Victoria, everything is gone, and thank goodness the kids were, they weren't in the house or whatever. But how did Jordan get on the ranch to burn down Victoria's house? Again, weak security. That's why Tessa and Mariah was like, look, we gotta move. They got too much craziness going.
I don't blame them. I would go to GCAC myself.
That
Apparently,
was,
that's a safe place to be.
listen, and then worst came to worst, they mistaken Tessa for Jordan. How do you mistaken Tessa for Jordan?
Isn't like a height difference?
Girl,
And
about a good 40-year age difference, too.
yeah, that made no sense. What they're going to base off of what the dark hair?
Girl, listen, even if you put the two of them side by side, they look nothing alike, which tells that he has a horrible security team. They
Well,
must.
wasn't he ordering the security team around and saying, get that, get the fingerprints, take it over there, go to the FBI, get this, and send a report to me, something like that?
Did you see the writer's flaw, though? So, she was in the alley with the gas, right? She was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to make it over from the alley, light the house up, and it's not easy to light up, pour all this alcohol, get onto the ranch, get to her house, and then make it back to the alley. Because you remember, she called Victor from the same, and Claire, she called Claire too, from the same alley in a matter of minutes. Because yesterday the house burned down, and today she was back in the alley talking to Victor, all within the same time frame.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
It's
how she was able to do all that? She got to be almost 70. Is she gonna be running around doing all that in a matter of an hour or two?
she had no, and this is the same woman who hid in a vent.
Right.
I'm like, how you get up there, girl?
How did she get in that wall?
Okay, she and Gloria been taking yoga classes together,
I
apparently.
don't know. But girl, that was crazy to me. But yeah, I don't blame Mariah and Tessa. Mariah and Tessa was like, look, number one, they mistaken me for Jordan. And number two, I ain't trying to have this baby girl around all the Newman drama. I mean, they should have left the ranch when Cameron Kirsten was crawling up under Mariah's mama's house.
Right. I'm surprised they stayed, but I figured they wanted to rely on the top flight security over at the Newman
Girl.
Ranch.
Mm-mm. And then here go Mariah. I'm going to talk to Victor about that. He can't be accusing you of looking like Jordan. I would be like, wait a minute. I'm Jordan?
Yeah. So and it kind of worries me. It scares me for Tessa because just the fact that they even mentioned it. I wonder if Jordan could take advantage of that, and Tessa could be another victim.
I hope not.
Because it's very random that they tied her
Mm.
into that.
But look what Jenna said too. It makes sense. She said, here's the deal. Mariah and Tessa have to move because Victoria and Claire is going to need a place to live. So technically that would make sense. If they move out the tack house, then Victoria and Claire can move into the tack house.
Why would they move to the tag house? To stay in that mansion. Why do people not want to be in the mansion?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they act like they're gonna hear Victor and Nikki a headboard going crazy. No.
Are you serious? Did you just say that?
Like I'm pretty sure there's like a west wing, a south wing, an east wing. To pick a wing and just stay there. Why are you guys? This is where the writing is like, unless we're
Mm-hmm.
getting some new sets and they're trying some different stuff out. Which
Mm-hmm.
like it made sense to me that they burned Victoria's house down. We haven't seen her at her house in a minute.
Right.
So if they're giving her a new set, that's awesome. That's fine. Um, but for the time being, just let her be in the Newman Ranch. Just let her stay in the house.
All them rooms and wings and stuff up in there, like she can find complete privacy at the opposite end of the house.
Exactly. All
Girl.
the rules.
Um, okay. So we talked about Seth, we talked about the house burning down, Victor's conversation, so look like they're gonna meet up next week. And Mike, that Friday preview, Michael was like, look, I don't know what you got going on, but Lauren expect me to be home. Next thing we see is her show around there with that weapon. I was like, you ain't going nowhere. You better call Lauren and tell her you gonna be late for dinner.
Poor Michael. He can't catch a
He can't catch a
break.
break. Well, but you know what? I don't feel sorry for Michael because his wife has told him many times, stop signing up working for Victor.
He is on retainer with the Newmans, and I feel like, you know how we rag on like Nate and Chance like being
Mm-hmm.
in Newman's back pocket. He is the CEO of that. He owns the back pocket, and he has been in the jungle. He's been in prison. He has done the most unconscionable things for the Newmans, and it's every year. It's almost every year they stick him to do something. He has to. He is like superhuman lawyer. I don't understand this, but
Yeah, and
poor
I mean, he always
Miles.
think he have stuff under control, and it's like Victor. I think you losing your touch. You thought you had this situation under control by putting that photo op saying, "Hey," in the newspaper, we're going to do a press release at Victoria's house to show Claire is now a Newman. Yeah, well, Jordan had other plans. Yeah, well, ain't gonna be nobody showing nothing. And then he think he gonna control this situation with him and an alley, Michael, and a crazy psycho. It's like, why do these people like to approach psychopaths? I don't get it. It's
Like
like,
they have some superhuman strength. You're terrified 1 minute, but you are a superhuman avenger the next. I don't understand it. But even Victor doesn't rely on his own security.
right,
He has to always be up to date, on task, everything. He can't even run his own company.
girl. I guess my thing is like you need to get this information over to the police, even though we don't have a chief, since we don't know who he is. But um, why y'all trying to do this by yourself? That man is an attorney. He's not a private eye, a security guard. He probably should have learned when he got put in jail in the Peruvian prison. He's going down there trying to get some information on Victoria's ex, Ashland Locke, and end up in a Peruvian prison.
Wasn't it for months?
Yes. And it's like, how many times you got to keep working for this man? He's using you as a gopher.
And that sucks. This is why, unfortunately, I have to say this, that Lauren cheated on Lion. Sorry, on Michael
Mm-hmm.
several times. It just, he's never with his wife. He's always uh,
Cleaning
on
up
a
Victor's
task.
messes. Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if the money is even worth it. I mean, it's probably like over what, 20 something years for him working for Victor. He should have cleaned up enough to save and just start a practice, or just retire and just leave Victor alone. It's ridiculous at this point.
Medora said Victor's security team is Michael. Man,
uh,
girl, please. Because remember, he got mad at his security team for something else in a different situation. Remember, Victor was pissed and told him he was fired. What was
was
that?
it the
What that was
cameras
that
Kirsten
Kirsten?
thing?
Yeah. Dude, who
Yeah.
is your security? Your house getting burned down. I mean, people getting accused of being Jordan that it's not. It's like, what are you doing?
It's he might be losing it because he loves to be in control of his situation, but everything around him is clearly out of his hands. He's just spending money for people that they can't do a doggone thing.
Girl, wait a minute. Rachel in the comment section said Aunt Jordan packed her glasses, 2 wigs, 2 pair of glasses, and a beret. Sis came to Genoa City ready to wreak havoc. Ain't no telling what else she brought in that backpack. Girl, I mean, she was ready. My thing is, that's what I'm saying. And between the gas and a full gas bottle in the alley, just randomly there, and then she was meeting Seth. How would she know that she needed to put on a disguise?
That's a good point.
Girl, they just threw that together so crazy.
Oh well, but bye, Seth. You fool. You a real fool, and she got you. Oh my goodness, that sucks because he could have been used for. I don't know. They like you said, we need more single men on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who he could have been with or what he could have done, but like I said, I would have liked for him to be, clean him up. He becomes a magical millionaire, and I don't know, pair him with somebody or anything but that. That was a really sad ending.
Girl,
Like
poor
this
thing.
poor Tink.
Poor little Tink. Exactly. Oh my goodness. All right, we got to keep it moving because we still got to talk about Ashley, Tucker, and Abby, and Jack. Oh shoot, we still got. See, it was a lot of stuff on Young and the Restless. We got Mamie and Amanda. Okay, let's knock out Mamie and Amanda. She wants a redivision of their company.
Which, once again, it's pointless. Just let things be. And I was a little confused as to why Mamie was really coming. It felt like she was coming hard for Amanda because she'd been with both Devon and Nate. I'm like, both men had cheated on her. I believe each of them cheated on her twice.
Okay, so wait a minute. Elena. Wait a minute. Okay.
I think it was Elena twice.
Well, Amanda slept with Elena.
But Amanda slept
Wait a minute. Oh my God. Wait. Nate slept with Amanda, and that's how he cheated on Elena, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Elena went with Devon. And then, oh God, I forgot. Didn't Amanda end up with Devon somehow? Which she ended up cheating on Nate. Girl, that whole thing is interwoven.
Yeah, for Mamie to have an opinion about Amanda's life, I didn't like that. Like, just keep it business and just keep it moving. But at the same time, this is a necessary moving part right here. What, change the name, change the vision for what?
Yeah, I mean the other thing is that with her wanting this whole thing redivided, it's like, what, just leave it alone. I mean, Billy is trying to do the exact same thing. Billy wants the name change, which costs a lot of money. She wants to undo the merger quietly. She's like, how are we supposed to do this? It's going to make us look weak in the public. And she was like, well, we don't have to do it publicly. We can just do it privately. That ain't how that works. There's a lot of employees in that building. There's somebody going to find out something.
Exactly. And what do they hope to benefit? Okay, so if they win, let's say they win and they unmerge. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to be competing against each other? Like, what? I mean, don't. I thought both companies do pretty much the same thing. Or
Well, I think Hamilton Winters or what it was, they brought over like the streaming and the music and stuff like that. And then Chancellor had all this other business stuff. So I guess it gave them access to, like the more communications and IT and dealing with the entertainment world. Whereas, Chancellor Winters was just like Newman. They got many different acquisitions and things. You know what I mean?
Okay.
which
I
I don't
mean,
know why they merged them in the first place. But if anybody should run that company, if they had to clean house and pick somebody, it would be Devon, because he has bloodlines on both sides of that company.
that's true.
Jill is only part of Chancellor because of maybe, you know, past history with Philip, and well, her son. Well, wait a minute. Chance is another one, because Chance is a chancellor, but he's not a Winters.
Right.
So maybe between the two people that really has a true stake in that company, that may be attached to both. Well, Devon is probably the only person that's attached to both sides.
Yeah. And that makes perfect sense. I can't think of anyone else.
I mean, he's not a Winters biologically, but he's a Winters through adoption, which he's officially legally a Winters, right?
Yes.
And then he's bloodline through Tucker as a chancellor and Catherine.
Didn't he inherit Chancellor, not Chancellor Winters, but Hamilton Winters after Neil passed?
Yeah, that's his business. That's his.
Oh yeah.
That's his. So I mean, yeah, that was bequeathed to him. So yeah,
It's just
that's
unfortunate that Devon doesn't make smart business decisions. He leads off of emotion, but
well, I mean, you got to think about, look at his history. And not saying that they can't be. I mean, same thing with Lily. The way that they were written, they they don't have business history going way back when. Most of this was given to them just because of inheritance.
yeah.
You know.
But
At least the only person that I would say on this entire show that has business acumen is Adam.
oh, without question. I mean, I would also say Kyle, because didn't Kyle go to like? Didn't he go to Harvard Business School while he was
Kyle
here?
went to simp schools. That's what he went to.
Oh. He went to sim school. Okay.
Simp
There's some.
University.
There's a lot of graduates
Exactly.
on Y&R and B&B.
Shoot, listen. Between Ridge and his alma mater and Liam graduating summa cum laude from Simp University.
Each year they had to repeat it.
Well, he had to go for undergrad, then graduate, then masters, and then doctorate. So
See, dedication is important.
yeah, I know, right? Anyway, that's our little comic relief. But yeah, the only person that really has business acumen is, well, Victor built his business, whereas Adam went to get the education.
Right.
I can't think of anybody else that went to like business school on this show.
Neither can I. I can't even say Nicholas. We don't even know what type of education Nicholas even has.
Girl.
That's why the job positions have always been random. Um, you would think as long as Noah's been away, he would have a doctorate degree by now.
Right. As long as he'd been gone. But, going back to the whole Chancellor Winters thing,
Mhm.
yeah, her wanting to break this company in half because she want to get it away from Jill, that ain't how that work, Mamie. Unfortunately, that's not. And like Amanda say, I understand what you're trying to do, but that's gonna be a no.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. So, all right, girl, we gotta talk about Chance and Summer. Somebody dropped it in the comment section.
So I actually watched this back again. I'm still. I'll give it a B minus.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay. It once again we've been spoiled. Like Keisha was saying on Wednesday, we've been spoiled with soap. I think they have really great chemistry. Chance looked amazing.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Oh my
gosh, girl, and they
goodness.
had that little piece of hair hanging down. You know, he got that little Superman little curl that comes down in the front of his head.
Hmm. He
Yeah.
was looking good at the bar. I was like, oh, okay. And I knew Summer was like, yeah, I got to take this upstairs. And I don't blame her, but it was really sensual. I think the music just really threw me off, like you were saying.
Jasmine said Chummer was a bummer.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I think the music could have
Oh
changed a lot of
gosh.
things.
Oh, absolutely. That music was terrible.
Because the intensity was there, like him putting her against the door on the rolling around on the bed, like the intensity was there, but like the music just wasn't right. Like when they had put Kyle and Audra together for those
Mm-hmm.
first couple of times, it was
Mm-hmm.
hot. It was very hot. Like the music meshed with the slow motion, but
Even the music that they had with Sharon and Chance in the back room. I actually, when I look back at it, that scene was a little bit hotter than the Summer and Chance one. I just think that, like I said, we did get a little door action. Now,
mhm.
Keish said that Chance should have picked her up. I thought he did a little bit because he did put her down on the bed and got, climb on top of her or whatever. Now, I got to give it to him for looking like he was going downtown.
I was like, oh, where are we going with this? Oh, you guys are really trying to be soap. Okay.
Listen, I know Jenna wish she was Allison Lanier in that scene. Right, Jenna? She
Are
down there
you are
talking.
you are you mad at Summer was getting with your man, Jenna?
Listen, girl, I can't see how they do it. Those are sensitive areas. And for him to start kissing that girl down her stomach, Allison had to be like, oh my God.
Look, that wouldn't be a bad work day for me. I mean, just saying.
Because,
I
I
mean, that would be
mean,
fun.
we've seen Hope go down on Thomas, apparently.
Yeah, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
right.
See, and that's why I think Dope is so much hotter because they kind of push the envelope a little bit more.
And their chemistry, Matt and Annika just have insane chemistry. Even like Friday's episode, just the way that she went in and just kissed him and pushed him against the door. Even those like few like 10 seconds, it's just hot and intense.
Mm-hmm.
I I think it has to do with like making sure everyone has a good chemistry, and I think Chance and Summer they do. It's just like the little minor things just affects the overall scene. I feel it's the music, to be honest, because the
Yeah, that
intensity was
music was
there.
terrible. Oh my God. I was like, what are they using? It sounded so corny, it takes away from what's actually happening.
I mean, it's like some very calm, like elevator music, and I'm like, it's not a calm scene. He's putting her against the door. I'm like, okay, Chance. I was hoping for more shirtless, more.
Well, they did. Well, he did unbutton her shirt and she ripped it off and showed her bra. Okay.
Well, I was talking about Chance. I wish he was more shirtless, but
Wasn't
it's
he? I thought he was. He wasn't shirtless.
in more scenes.
Oh, you talking about more scenes, girl? You so silly. I got you. I got you.
He's a
Um,
great looking man.
yeah, he is, and I just think that they could have did a little bit more. I don't
But
know.
for the first time, I hope it just progresses and
Hmm.
like she pops up at Chancellor Winners and they get it on in Billy's office or something like that. I don't know.
I don't think they're that creative over at Young and the Restless. Whoever's coaching Annika and J Matt, they're doing a good job at it. And then, of course, I think Annika and Matt just go for what they know. I think
Hmm.
that's all improv. That's what it looked like to me. Because they already probably very sensual people anyway, and it just add to it when they know what to do. Well, I
Hmm.
ain't gonna say that because she wasn't like that with Scott. We didn't get that type of heat from her and Scott?
I really can't think of a scene where she was pushing him against the door, like
Mm-mm.
climbing on top of it. Like, I can't think of anything with Leo.
No. I can't, and we really haven't seen Matt in a lot of scenes prior to Hope, so it's kind of hard to compare.
He was with when he was on YNR, he was with Melissa Oldway and Hunter King.
Right, but I'm trying to think of post 2019 with him, because he was playing in a different type of storyline. He was more of a villain, dark, bad boy. And I think he was kind of a bad boy on Young and the Restless.
Oh,
When
he was definitely a bad boy.
with Summer and Abby, I
Oh,
just.
he was with Emma. Not Emma.
Zoe.
Zoe, yeah.
Yeah, but did
Zoe.
we actually see the scenes?
The only thing I can recall is when um, Thomas was trying to make Hope jealous. Hope was in Douglas's room and she was hearing Thomas and
Noises.
Zoe. Yeah, that's the
Mm-hmm.
only thing I can think
That's
of.
the only thing we got. Okay. All right. Well, I agree with you, Bree. I give Summer and Chance a B minus. It just, I just think
I
it.
anticipate more.
I did. We waited so long for it. I think that's what it was.
But I think there's more to come because they're a great looking pair. I'd love to see more Chance. I think that it's good. I'm hoping for
Now,
them to turn
Bree,
up the heat.
Bree, we were waiting a long time for Thope, and they gave as good as we waited for.
True.
If we waiting since the fall of 2023, you got to come with bam. You know what I'm saying? Just like they did with Hope. Hope started fantasizing
She
back
started.
in April, May of last year. We got the scenes mid-July. So we had to go through about 2.5 months of build up. And we got what we were waiting for. 4 days worth.
Yeah, I feel like B&B did a great job writing the build up for Hope to her getting with Thomas. I
Mm-hmm.
wish the same was for Summer leading up to
Right.
Chance. If we had seen scenes where she was fantasizing about him and she had her own music video, um, I would probably be, you know, or maybe I'm just going to be optimistic. I honestly feel that this is the first go around. Maybe months later, we'll see some hotter, exciting, spicy scenes. But they just got together. Sharon just left him on the street corner about a couple months ago.
Well, hopefully, I'll hold out for hope. Not that time, not Hope Logan, but I'll hold out for hope that these two give us a little bit more next time.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right. Now let's go ahead and knock out Ashley and Abby. Abby went up there and tried to tell Tucker about himself.
Once again, an unnecessary moving part. Girl, you just found out your mother has lost her mind, and I mean this in the sweetest way as I possibly can. You knew Tucker didn't do anything that was malicious that Ashley was saying. You're going up there for what? To say what? To do what? He's not even with Ashley. He's with Audra. They're divorced. So I don't understand it. Anything that Ashley is doing has really, it's not of Tucker's doing. Ashley is perfectly fine moving the way she is, but at the same time, they recognize the Abbots recognize as a family that Ashley needs help. Why are they not pushing forward to get her help, but they want to entertain arguing with Tucker? Wasn't it just like last week that Jack was doing the same thing?
They don't want to hold her accountable for what they think this is all him.
Which is foolish. Just let
Leave that
this.
man alone.
because it's one thing if he is directly harassing you, popping up at your job, doing this. Okay, you want to return the favor, fine. But he's with a whole other woman. He is with Tempur-Pedic, and he's happy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
go take care of Ashley. Get her some help. I would say Jack should be leading the torch, but he's too busy worrying about somebody else's wife.
And did you see Ashley come in downstairs, lied, said that she was coming from the lab when she came from the house. And then when they left, she rolled her eyes at them like, psh.
It was just, I don't know the direction they're trying to go in. I'm really confused as to what Ashley is trying to gain or trying to prove. Is she's trying to go after Tucker, or is she trying to soften herself up towards him to get him to admit that he did the stuff in Paris, even though she knows nothing happened? I don't understand what's going on, because at this point enough of her family members are aware that something's going on with her. She's had a previous, she's had previous concerns when it comes to her mental health previously before. So like, what are you guys just doing with this woman? Why aren't you, like, what direction do you guys want to go with Ashley? Because once again, another legacy character who can wear out any storyline, any scene. She'll bring on the tears. She'll bring on anything. Eileen is incredible. Just make the storyline make sense, because I know she can really pull it out. If she's going to be mentally insane, let that woman go completely crazy.
Yep. Whatever it is, they need to hurry up and get to the end of this storyline. What's going on with her?
Yeah. After all of this, because Abby popping up on Tucker was just unnecessary. I could see Devon maybe doing that. I was hoping to see Devon approach Tucker and at least apologize, or say like, hey, you want to spend some time with Dominic, something to that effect.
Do you think she playing a split personality?
I think it's somewhere borderline with that. I was actually thinking schizophrenia, but I don't think they really want to put a label on it. I think they're just making her so erratic and all over the place. It's like she wants to compete with a mattress for this man that she wanted to divorce.
I honestly was hoping that they could clean this up and just put them two together. They got a lot of chemistry, the two of them. It just sucked that they broke them up and then take her down this road to make it look like she's still interested in him. They should have never broke them two up in the first place.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that I was kind of taken out of the storyline when he was chasing her and she wasn't,
responding,
trying to be receptive, except for when she wanted to use him.
Right. Because a lot of this, they thought it was him at that time. It was her. Of course, he was interested. He was pretty much doing whatever Ashley wanted because he felt that he had a relationship. She was like, I'm going to take your affections and I'm going to use it against you. And then at the 11th hour, she started having feelings for him.
I had a question. Because wasn't it sometime like back in January, she and Jack were planning to undermine Tucker, and she said she had a plan all along. Could this just also be part of her plan?
Girl, who knows? It's so convoluted. Because she's hearing voices and stuff too. It'd be different if she was actually plotting. She's hearing voices and switching in and out and all this stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, don't they have a psychologist on the show? Where is Sharon at?
That's a good question.
Because as much as Ashley is around and moving around in Genoa City, she hasn't popped up at I keep forgetting the coffee house, Crimson Lights. At one point, you haven't. I don't know. We have a therapist who's never around.
On both
No,
shows.
no cops.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's no doctors.
Nope.
There's EMTs at least.
Right. Paid ones.
There's nobody to help Ashley right now.
Yeah. And then we finally got this last little piece, and then we got to go over to bold.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Oh, good. Hold on. Jay said he wants to come in too. Hold on. Oh, I think let me see. Give me 1 second. I know Jay wants to get in his own bowl probably. Let's see if it'll send a link. Oh, there we go. Cool. Okay, cool. All right, he should be popping in shortly.
Okay.
With girl, Nikki got a whole bottle of vodka stashed in the pillow of the couch. Talking about I wasn't gonna drink it.
This man has no security cameras in his house. He has no maids who clean up the couches. There's nobody who could feel a bottle or able to see nothing in that house. I don't understand. You're a
Girl.
billionaire and all this is going on underneath.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Hey, Jay.
Listen, we was talking about.
I saw your message late, so y'all would have joined earlier.
Oh, no problem. We was over here just talking about how Nikki hid that bottle of vodka in the pillow of that couch.
Did she say she forget? And was she lying? Because I didn't see beforehand.
She ain't forget.
Of course not.
I figured as much. Even just seeing it where I caught it at, I thought that was a lie. I'm like, nah, she knew she put that there.
Yeah, she didn't forget because Victor said he did a clean sweep of all the alcohol. And I'm like, okay, but there's a magical bottle just sitting right. Stop.
Yeah.
She got that bottle.
She got that bottle out that bar and said, I'm gonna at least put one of them somewhere. Oh, let me ask you this, Jay, right quick. What's your grade on the Summer and Chance scene?
Yeah, I'm right around with y'all. I was thinking B.
Okay.
I'll say right around the same B minus.
Yeah, not hot.
It had its moments.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it definitely wasn't Chance Karen level. You know what I mean? So they got that going for them. So the chemistry is there. They look really good together.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to it doesn't compare to to Taupe.
Of course.
But nobody has really. You know what I mean? Since then. So I think B is solid. It was a nice, solid scene. You got two attractive people. So it was a solid scene. It was nothing too crazy, but it wasn't like horrible either.
Yeah,
so
what?
B minus is the right grade for that.
Okay, cool. I saw some of your other comments because you've been in there for a while, right? Since we kind of started. Okay, cool. Did you because that was the last piece of the storyline for Wine-Art that we're gonna do? Did you have anything else you wanted to throw in right quick?
Yes, I did. Just touching on the Ashley stuff that y'all just talked about last time. I honestly think that she's lying about the friend in Paris that's a psychiatrist. I don't think she has one.
Really? You think she's making that up?
I think she's making it up. I think she said that originally to Tracy to try to get them off her back. Like, no, don't worry about it. I have somebody that I'm talking to. And then think about it. Every time she brings this person up, she either misses him or today she said, no, or was it this week when she told Jack she called him, she said she got voicemail. And then she had this weird look on her face. I think she's making this person up. Just to try to get people off of her case a little bit.
I can see that. I've seen that in the comment section too. That people are thinking that there is no psychologist, that she's making this up. So who did she visit? Or was she just roaming around?
You remember? Yeah, she was just roaming around. That was, I think because she was saying that when they were both there, when Tracy was with her, right? And she went away, and she was like, where did you go? And then she claimed she talked to that person. So I think she was just doing her thing, roaming around. I don't think she ever talked to anyone.
Okay.
I'll piggyback off of that. It's kind of go back to what I was saying earlier, back when she had the discussion with Jack in January, that she had a plan. She didn't want to let him in on it. When she went to Paris, I think she wanted to get clarification regarding the Tucker thing. But there's a lot of chemists that are in Paris, and she wanted to try to find something to rival Lasad. So I think that's why I'm wondering if either she really has a mental problem, because once again, they're not really defining anything. She's just being really erratic, or she's just putting on to really blindside Tucker and Antra with a new product or a line or a patent that would rival Lasad or something.
Do you think that when she went to go see the chemist, she got like a whiff of something and it messed her head up? Like
that would be interesting.
She was sampling the different like chemicals or frequencies, and something just like one of the chemicals just didn't mix well with her brain. That would be wild if they did that.
I don't know, something like that. I feel like if she's really going through something, they just need to really come to some sort of closure with that. Because it's really unfortunate that she has family members who care but won't do anything. It's just like they're just letting this woman really just act crazy. But I honestly feel this is part of a plan to go against Tucker. I feel that this is all part of going against the rival Lasad or something.
Well, if it is, she's a really good actress as Ashley, because her fear has really come off as truly sincere. Which, you know what I mean? That would have to mean all of that was a part of it. The initial fear that she showed at the cafe, that would have to mean all of that was a part of the plan.
Yeah, wow. Well, I guess we'll see. Hopefully that'll be an end game to this thing. Whether it is a plot or a plan, or whether it's something deeper and the girl needs help.
But wait, she's hearing the voices in her head.
Correct.
That was a plan. That wouldn't be a part of the...
And that's what I was saying, because Bree was thinking, maybe, and I was like, well, the girl is hearing things.
Well, actually, I wonder if they're going to revert back to... Because I'm actually thinking when she was trying to go after Diane, that might have also kicked in. When she was part of the three... women circus. Yes, I think that she wasn't really in her right mindset then, because she was so gung ho about going after Diane, and sometimes it was for like the most ridiculous things too. And it makes me wonder if when she wanted to go after her brother and go after her and Diane on the business side, I wonder if she was in the right state of mind then.
Well, I guess it remains to be seen on which direction they're going to go, because
the last thing on it, think about what she said at the bar in the episode. Didn't she say something about it's almost done, or she's almost safe, or something like that? And I really feel like she was I really feel like that was like her alter talking about Ashley. Like I feel like she got some kind of split personality thing going. And when she says she's talking in the third person, and she's talking about the main version of her. I think like when she's doing all of this weird stuff with Tucker, that's like her alter that's coming out. Because you remember at the end of the episode, right? She said something about she's almost safe or something to that extent.
Yeah, I don't know. They need to figure this. What's going on with this girl? And give us because it's supposed to get worse next week. So, is she spiraling in, with her mental situation, her psyche? Or is this her crazy offlandish plan to get back at Tucker? It ain't revealed yet. So I don't know. It's kind of, with her hearing voices, that's the thing that's throwing me off. It'd be different if she wasn't hearing voices.
The hearing voices and the talking in the third person kind of has me thinking she really does have something going
on. Exactly. All right. Well, we covered all of the storylines. It took us an hour and a half for Young and the Restless. Yeah, I mean, because we had like 9 different storylines going on this week. It was so many moving parts. I mean, like I said, when we started off with Connor and then Ashley and then Phyllis and Cricket, the house on fire, Jordan, Summer and Chance, then the stuff over at Chancellor Winters, and then Jack and I. So yeah, we had a lot this week. You would think that.
One quick thing, and because I know we got to move on. When Nikki was at the AA meeting and she was talking about the stuff Jordan did, like pushing Seth in front of the car and all that stuff, why she didn't mention that woman burned her daughter's house down since she was letting it, airing it all out? She didn't say anything about the house being on fire, right? Doesn't she suspect that Jordan did that too?
Mm-hmm. Yep, she didn't bring that up at all. She brought up the whole situation with Seth only. So. Yep. All right.
Something else, boy.
Yeah, she's something else. Hey, Jay, who you think is worse, Jordan or Sheila?
You know what, man? I know people gonna think this is wild because Sheila's been doing this thing for 35 years, right? But with Sheila, a lot of the crimes she committed were like, okay, she dealt with a few members of the Forster family, but a lot of her crimes were like intimate. Jordan is going after like multiple members of this family, and then outsiders that just so happen to be involved. So I feel like Jordan kind of is worse right now.
Yeah, Jordan's like a bulldozer. Anybody standing in her way, she running over you.
Yeah, she's deliberate. Sheila has the whole thing. She's never been loved. She just wants to, be appreciated, all that stuff. With Jordan, no, this woman is just 100% certified, bona fide psycho.
Yeah, because she was going to unalive her niece in that burning house. She got so mad that she think that Claire turned on her that she was going to set that girl on fire.
Yes, that's diabolical.
Yes, it is.
Next level.
Yep, so. All right, I just wanted to know your opinion on that. But, yeah, let's talk about...
Is that your two choices, too? Y'all would say Jordan over...
I think, well, I mean, because I know, like Bree was saying, that there's some history that go way back with Sheila doing, trying to get rid of her family members and things like that.
Her mother and I think her sister or something like that.
Right. But like I was saying, Jordan wasn't around nowhere to be found back then, so I was just comparing recent events with, Jordan and her, and Jordan is just vile.
Yeah.
I mean, she's lying, talking about the man unalived himself when she knows she pushed him in the street. Even though Seth was crazy for telling her anything, so.
That bubbling fool, when she pushed him on that street and he was bubbling for it, I just laughed at that.
Yeah, that was crazy. I'm like, dude, why did you do that? All right, so we're going to kind of take a quick little moment, and before we break down Bold and Beautiful, it's about 117 of you in the chat. Thank you very much. Usually we have a lot more on Bold, but thank you for coming over to listen to Y&R all this time as well. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications so you're notified every time a video is posted or when we go live. Also, you can follow us on TikTok, X, Instagram, and Threads. And there is a blog on Medium if you want to read the blog, because I usually post prior to the show airing the articles. So you can catch that and find that link in the bio of the Instagram platform. And I think I should. You know what? I'm going to eventually put all the links in the YouTube platform so you can just go into the channel and then you can click on wherever you want to go. But I want to make sure I put that in there. So just a little bit of housekeeping notes. And I know we're a few, because we started like 6 or 7 minutes after the hour. And I know for a lot of you guys on the East Coast, it's almost 10 o'clock. But we got to get in the bowl because we got 2 two storylines to talk about. And without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and unpack The Bold and the Beautiful for the week of March 4th. So give me a second. Let me pull up my summary notes. All right. So, for The Bold and the Beautiful for the week of March 4th through the 8th, after Deacon confronts Steffy for getting rid of Sheila, Finn run out on his wife again and she begins hyperventilating. Deacon says goodbye to Sheila at the morgue and Lee encourages Finn to be with Steffy. Liam shows up to support Steffy. As Liam taunts Finn about replacing him in Steffy's life, Steffy can hardly control herself as Hope urges her to protect her marriage. Finn and Steffy come together as she apologizes and Poppy pushes Luna to stay silent as Zende rubs in how lucky RJ is. And then finally Finn returns home with Steffy, but a nightmare terrifies him while Luna almost come clean and Hope talks about Steffy's guilt. Where y'all want to start?
I guess we can get Degrassi out the way.
Okay, go right ahead, girl.
I almost completely forgot about the Luna sleeping with Zende thing. Not on purpose. It's just, we had a horror movie for 2 weeks. But do I feel she should say something? I mean, I'm not sure what it really would matter at this point in juncture. Zende doesn't want to say anything about it. Her mom is going to try to keep that airtight. So, I mean, they went swimming. That's nice. I'm sorry. The only thing that I would say with that whole storyline there, the thing that was really interesting to me was the chemistry between Poppy and Zende. And I know.
Oh Lord, are we finna go down this road?
It is there. It is there, and I was so happy Bree sees it.
It's there. They got chemistry. That flirting back and forth. When he went behind the desk and you took the phone call, he was like, I gotta work. What are you still doing here? It was just that light, fun little banter. I think they might go down the road. I mean, then they might have the mother and the daughter.
I know, right? And that's so bold, isn't it?
Yeah, that's so bold. That's the DNA right there.
So, Bree, not to interrupt you. So you did, because you didn't, when I had first brought it up in the chat, the group chat earlier today, you hadn't seen it yet, but you did see it in those specific scenes I was talking about, like when she told him, "Oh, you're really good with words." I forget what she said verbatim now, but she basically said that he was really good. He was a good talker, and you could she had a look. She looked at him a certain way when she said that, and he kind of smirked back. Like they're giving each other these kind of glances and these little kind of flirty smirks. I think I see some people in the comments saying they have real. Aditha said it. She sees it too. It's definitely there.
Melissa said, "Who swims in the ocean at night when there's sharks feeding? Talk about making yourself live bait."
Yeah, I didn't understand. I'm like, y'all are rich. You can't go to a pool. There's no pool.
I mean, they do live on the beachfront, Malibu, I think it is.
But if you want to get in some water at night, get in a pool. Why you to go swim with the sharks at night?
Yeah, that's crazy.
We got some people in the comments that's agreeing with the Zende and Poppy. Shabritha says she sees a hookup coming. Sandy says she sees the chemistry with Zende and Poppy too. So I'm glad we got some people in this chat, because I feel like me and Bree the only ones standing on this right now. I'm glad to see there's some people in the chat that see the Zende and Poppy chemistry, and I'm calling them Zoppy. I'm calling them Zoppy for right now.
Zoppy, okay. But I understand, see, where T is coming from. I understand it's a complete nope. That's how I feel about Nate and Audra. Nope. It's an
Mm-hmm.
immediate nope. So I understand that you don't want to see it, but it's there. They got
Yes,
the.
well, Zoppy's in the chat. Zoppy's in the chat.
Well, they got to finish up this situation with Bill first, so
Oh
we'll
yeah, gotta
see.
love Bill.
I know that's gonna be some extra drama too. Could you imagine Bill, like if she's not forward, like straightforward with him, and then like he finds out by like catching them or something? Oh my goodness, the stories they can write.
I guess the thing is, even though we know that he's older, the guy that plays Zende, he's playing in the age group of Luna and RJ. Okay.
Which makes no sense.
He's still legal though, even with being
Yeah, I
underage.
don't.
Handsome made the similar
And she,
romances on soaps.
yeah, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not there. I can't go there
It's
with you.
okay. I
Um.
understand.
I just can't wait for your edits when we get the first Zombie love scene. I can't wait to see what you do with that edit, T, what music you put to it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that.
No, thank you. Okay. Anyway, I guess that was our way to get RJ and Luna and them out the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
They went swimming. They played Baby Shark, and they lived happily ever after.
Yeah, well, she almost told that secret, but didn't. Do you think she should go ahead and spill the beans?
No, I think she should just let things be with Joey Tribbiani, and they just focus on Eric's collection because I didn't realize he had a collection coming out. And just do that. There's no point for any of that to come out. I don't
Really? Okay.
see it at this point in juncture.
What about you, Jay?
What was the question again?
Do you think she should spill the beans?
Oh, you know what? Actually, I do for two reasons. Because I feel like if she wants to salvage the relationship, I think it's always better to tell, especially because she really isn't guilty. But tell from the beginning when when you let it fester and it becomes a longer lie. I think that is more problematic. Also, I want to see the drama that will come from it. So I want to see that as soon as possible. So I think she should tell him sooner rather than
Yeah, and the
later.
girl is struggling mentally. I mean, she got to look this man in the face every time knowing that she slept with his cousin.
And my thing is, I don't want her to say anything. I don't want it to come from Luna at all. I want true soap fashion. I want it to come out when we least expect it in the worst possible way.
Like,
And
are
really
you
give us
walking in on them talking about it, perhaps?
no. I want that. I want it glorified, amplified to the fullest, bold. I need for all the storylines to be like that, especially if this contract's only for a year. But I want drama with that storyline because she tells him, what's he gonna do? He's gonna cry, get himself broken hearted. He can go to his mom, and then he's rich for us, or he'll get another girl. It doesn't really bring any drama if she says anything. At least for me, I would rather for that to come out in the weirdest fashion. I want them to play along with that storyline with the mints. I want other foresters or other people to get a hold of those mints. Have RJ have a hold of those mints. Something with that.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Well, I was going to ask her to follow up what she said. What would you say would be the most ideal way for him to find out then?
I have no idea. I did something other than her telling him. It has to be. I don't know. It could come out like a PR scandal, or I don't know. But it's something other than her telling him, because that just defeats the purpose of this whole build up and this tension and this heat that she's having.
Yeah. I, she's caught in the middle. I mean, because if she says something, it runs the risk of causing tension between the two of them, RJ and Zende. If she don't say anything, it's boiling up inside of her, all this guilt.
Which I don't think that would affect Zende and RJ's relationship. They're still family. they can move past this. We see it on Y&R. Devon and Nate can clearly get past all the women that they pass around back and forth. So I feel this is something they can get over. Zende and RJ have more professional issues than they do with Luna, in my opinion. Because Zende at least respects, like, hey, she wants to be with him. That's fine. Like, I have a crush on this girl, but if that's where she wants to be at, I'm not going to interfere. I'm going to let her do her thing. And as long as she doesn't say anything, we're all cool and we're collected. Granted, I didn't like the fact that Zende came over just to taunt Zende. Like, what was that for?
You mean taunt RJ?
I'm sorry, RJ. Sorry. I don't understand why Zende came over to taunt him. And it was really funny in that scene where RJ was saying, like, you'll never have her. That look that Zende had.
That was acting.
That was great acting. Great acting. Yeah. Love that. Love that.
Well, what you don't know. But I love that look he gave. And did you also notice the look Luna gave Zende when she was hugging RJ in the office?
I think that was cute.
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, it was definitely probably more good than anything else. But it was very interesting. Like, I don't know how this is gonna come out, but it's
probably with an unlocked door. With an unlocked door, because they don't lock doors on this show. They're gonna be talking about it, and RJ probably walk up on it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be him walking in on them talking about it or overhearing it.
Exactly. That's what. Because how has everybody else got busted out on this show? Somebody had the door open.
I think Poppy's gonna be the one to accidentally let that come out. However that'll come out, I think she's going to be the cause of it, because she's the cause from the beginning and she's the main one who wants to keep it a secret.
Well, see, it could come out two ways, because it could be, because for some reason, Poppy keeps ending up Zende's atmosphere. So it could be RJ works in the office right across the hall. It could be him walking in on Zende and Poppy talking about it, or Zende and Luna talking about it, or even Luna. And you know what I mean? There's three options right there.
True.
So it could be any number of ways that he finds out.
Yep, that is true. That is true.
Or it could be Lee that finds out, and with the hatred she has for Poppy, she could go straight to RJ and tell him, and that would make it even worse if he doesn't hear it from any one of those three parties. If he hears it from Lee, and I can see Lee being spiteful enough, if she overhears it and runs and tells RJ.
That's true. Okay. All right, moving on. What do you think about the fact, because a lot of people are tripping when Deacon went to the morgue, that they didn't show her feet?
We've seen her feet enough. We didn't see them 9 toes enough.
But a lot of people are trying to figure out whether or not that's Sheila or not, because the name Sugar has been thrown around, or this mystery person, or could it be somebody else? And the only way to verify that, a lot of people are wondering if that's actually Sheila.
And I hate to say this as a fan, but I feel like that's reaching a lot, because Deacon saw her face. She was right there. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, as much as Carter was checking down with his connects at the morgue, at the hospital, this and that, they confirmed it, that it was her. So I feel like it sucks as a fan that Sheila's gone. They haven't really shown anything lingering that she is alive.
So after Steffy punched her in the face, shouldn't she have a mark on her face?
I don't know. I just feel
a bruise like or something, black eye, you know.
My thing is, like, Steffy stabbed this woman. That woman's body was still at Steffy's house. People were witnessing Sheila was unalived in that house, and she was taken to a hospital. She was got her DNA, got all of that. It's her. So it's really going to be difficult for them to write her in a way where she comes back. It would have been interesting if Deacon knew she was alive and wanted to keep that secret.
Okay, so with her saying she's been meeting somebody secretly, we don't know who that person is. There's no bruises on her face where she's been punched, slapped, something. When you look at the picture, and I didn't have enough spaces to put that picture in there. Because I want to include both her and Deacon in the same scene. So that's the one I put up there. There's no bruises, and and we didn't get to see the feet, which a lot of people want to see the feet just to make sure. But it's just so many open-ended questions about this whole situation because they left certain backdoor clues that could write her back in if they wanted her to. I mean, 2 years ago with Tanner, and I think we talked about that last week. Tanner got shot by Sheila. A Finn got shot by Sheila. Tanner comes on to the media saying that he was done. And in May, he was back. So, I don't know.
I mean, it's a possibility. It's just that she's gone and came back, and she's got plenty of surgery. She rejuvenated. Sheila is Michael Myers for real.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's hard for me to believe how they can write this girl back. She fell on the floor. Steffy was right there staring at the body.
But what I'm saying is a lot of people are thinking it's Sugar because of the fact that this Sugar person has the same face as Sheila Carter.
Oh, that's who Sugar is? Can you give me a little backstory on Sugar?
So there was this lady that was really, I guess, she was friends with Sheila Carter. And so she wanted to get her face changed. Well, somehow Sheila arranged it where her face looked exactly like hers. And she wasn't happy about it, But the thing is that that's why everybody is, because they had went their separate ways. This Sugar person, is still out there.
Sheila arranged for her face to look like hers?
Correct. And so the Sugar individual is still out there. Now they dropped these clues that she's been meeting somebody from her past. Right?
Yes.
And so who is this mystery person? Now a lot of us were speculating maybe one of her kids, because she did bring up the fact that she had, when she told Steffy, I got kids. I got other kids other than Finn. So there was it's so many open-ended things, that, there was a body on the floor, but, is the person that she's been talking to, could that have been Sugar? And that's why everybody is saying, oh, I know that's Sugar. Look in the comment section right now.
I wasn't aware of the Sugar. I wasn't aware of the Sugar character, so maybe that was around the time. Did all of that go down on Y&R, or did that go down? That was probably Y&R where that went down, right? Where she met Sugar?
Yeah, I think it was Sugar. I think it was Y&R. Sammy said, why would Sugar text Steffy? She doesn't know Steffy. Not unless when Sheila was meeting up with her.
During the meetings, yes.
Exactly.
See, the second because I didn't know her, but the second you said she had Sheila's face, my mind went directly to Sheila talking about the person she was meeting in her past.
Correct.
So if she was telling her what everything was going on with her, that I'm happily with someone, but I'm dealing with my daughter-in-law who yada yada yada. If she told her about these things, and then told her my daughter is Steffy Forster, who's a world famous person, Sugar could have easily went over there to for her friend, like she was standing up for her friend. Mm-hmm. And then and I know what people are going to say is, well, what happened to Sheila? Well, remember, Sheila was upset because Deacon had kind of called off the engagement for now, and then after dealing with that latest fight with Steffy, it could be that she was just so upset she left town.
Okay,
and then
so
she can come back.
actually it happened on both. She was a warden who helped Sheila Carter escape from prison. Sheila and Sheila and Sugar kidnapped Ridge Forrester at the time.
I, I gotta admit, it would be brilliant if they did that. If that was Sugar and then Sheila comes back and people were expecting what, May sweeps.
Mm-hmm.
I, I hope that's what it is. I really.
Chat so you guys can take a look at it, okay? You too. I'm gonna drop it in the Instagram chat.
Okay.
So you'll see who get the background on her. Okay, there you go.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, in Genoa City, it was revealed that Sheila had tricked Sugar into having plastic surgery in order to look just like Sheila. Yep. This goes back to, gosh, 2003? Yeah, 2003.
That's gotta be it. I'm crossing my fingers. That's it. Bree, don't you want to see Sheila back?
I want to see Sheila back, but this storyline has to be worth her coming back because, like, I'm looking at the comments and I hear I hear the stuff about Sugar. I hear all of that. I'm just looking at, for me, just the timeline. We haven't seen Sheila since prior to this, since what, prior to Christmas or like Thanksgiving. She was happy. She wasn't in anybody's viewpoint. So I would have to question, why would she be meeting up with Sugar? How would she do that, arrange that so quickly? Because it wasn't that long ago that she was working at the restaurant. Kelly was there, took the picture. Sheila went back to paint her toenails. Steffy came in like Sonya Blade, just raging hell. And then it had to be like within a couple of hours, because even Sheila was talking to Deacon prior to her leaving. So I'm like, what time frame did she have a chance to speak with Sugar to come all the way to Steffi's house, stand in, and just take one for the team? I can't see that.
Well, no, you have to remember, Sheila said she had already been meeting this woman. She's met whoever she said, the person that she was meeting with in the past. It was already said between her and Deacon that she had disappeared a couple of times. So she had already met that person a couple of times already. So her telling, she could have told her about what was going on with her, you know, the couple of times they had already met. And then once that was already in Sugar's head, she could have already been heading to see Steffi that night after already knowing about it. And this works perfectly, y'all, because Sugar would have all 10 toes. They only showed the face when Deacon went to go identify the body. He didn't remove the cover from her feet. So I bet you that would come into play too. When they go to look at it, if they go back to look at her again, or if it comes out, I bet you that body's going to have 10 toes. And it's going to be Sugar.
If there's a body, because what happens if they cremate her?
Well, they said for now that the body's being held under investigation. That's what that person was saying. That showed, that she'll remain there while there's the investigation going on.
So, that could even come out. They could report to the family, this isn't Sheila Carter. This body has 10 toes. Like, that could be how they even get it into their mindset that Sheila's still out there.
So I guess it depends on what direction we're going to go into, because next week it doesn't really reflect any of that, because all this conversation we having is speculation right now, right? Uh-huh. But I mean, it's really, next week is about Steffi and Finn struggling with their psyche.
Exactly. This whole Sheila storyline, at least for now, was to bulldoze Sin fans. The Sin relationship. That's all the sole purpose was for. That's why it's annoying that they let Steffi be the one to take Sheila out. Like, we know they're gonna split up from this point, and then we'll slowly get that picture back on the wall.
I mean,
I'll tell y'all, but I love Lady Linda's comment. She said the toes will tell.
Yeah, the toes will tell, right? I guess my thing is, this is where, I mean, they really jacked this whole thing up. We kind of talked about this on Wednesday, not having Taylor there, because Taylor could have helped them get through the Eric situation. Now with this going on, and you got Steffi's having flashbacks, Finn is having flashbacks. This is where we need a Taylor character who's a therapist. You know what I mean? And so now with them, even you got this man having nightmares. His dream he created in his own head in today's episode was nowhere near what happened.
I wanted to talk about that. I actually loved that they did that. Bree, you famously call Sheila the Michael Myers of this story, but they're making Steffy the Michael Myers of this story for Finn, and I absolutely loved it. In his nightmare, she repeatedly kept going with the knife.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's what I was talking about when I said in the group chat, wow, I love what they're doing here. I love that they're actually doing this and making Finn really see Steffy as the villain. Because really, T, in a lot of ways, she is. This goes back to her getting in this woman's face and setting everything into motion. So, in a lot of ways, Steffy kind of is the villain. Now, she's not as violent as she was in this nightmare he had, of course, but this all has started because of her insistence on going to this woman's house and fighting with her. And now in his nightmare, she looked like a monster today. She looked like Michael Myers.
Yeah, I mean, she put that knife in her at least 4 times.
Yes.
That recreation was funny.
You can see I don't know if I can say this word, so I'll say you can see the Kool-Aid splashing in her face multiple times. I'm like, wow, they really going in with this.
Yeah, that was crazy. I'm like, he really have a creation in his head of what he thinks Steffi did to her.
Yes.
Which plays out because now his head, he sees Steffi as a monster. Like, oh my God, you. And then they played the parts where she was saying, my son, and save me, and all this stuff in the background. I mean, they really got him going.
And his mind is looking like it's about to, like the panicking. I could have saved her. This dude is really going through it.
What you think, Bree?
I have mixed feelings.
Okay.
I feel that this. I don't feel it's going to turn Finn into a villain. They really, the writers really had built this man up to being the anti-Liam, and now that Liam's back to being his normal self again, I don't really see them changing him on the dark path. But if they do, I think that would be great because I don't want them to make Thomas the villain.
I don't think they'll make him a villain. I just think it's going to separate him from his wife because he sees her as the villain.
Which I understand. I'm on both Steffy and Finn's side. It's just a matter of, well, it's not going to matter if anything. They're going to split up. I mean, Steffy already hopped in Liam's lap and, she dusted off his cape for him. So she's already pretty much slowly making her decision to go to Liam. I don't feel he's ever going to get over the fact that she stabbed Sheila. That's the closest. I want to say closest. That's his biological connection that he won't be able to have. We don't see him with Jack. So he lost his biological connection. And yes, he has Lee. Yes. But as he keeps explaining, he has a different set of relationships with other people, Sheila included with that, and that he just wants that to be respected.
I don't understand.
And remember what he said about the hug he had with her. He said that was a feeling he never had before, and it was something he didn't realize he was missing. It was, even though Sheila did not raise him, he felt a difference when he was hugging Sheila. He felt that connection that he had been missing his whole life.
That is true. I mean, everybody is thinking that he should. I just don't like the fact that they want him to feel what they think he should feel. I mean, the only
Right.
person that gets it is Hope.
Mm-hmm. Which is going to make their bond even stronger. And Ridge ain't going to stop saying the stuff he's been saying.
I feel like Steffi also, and Keisha actually touched on it on Wednesday. I didn't see it personally until Friday's episode. I'm like, okay, she's really trying to step into her husband's shoes. She's really trying to stay with him, at least for right now. She's really trying to keep her marriage intact. But I don't like the fact that he is the Forrester's footstool, and he allows himself to be. And it's like he's only good for saving Eric and being underneath Steffi with whatever issues that she has, but he's not really treated like as a family member. He's just treated like a second class citizen who should either get with their program or get out the family, and that's unfortunate.
But heck, they got family. They got members in their own family that they treat like that and feel like that. Look how Zende is treated. Look how Thorne was treated. Like they have their own blood that they treat like second, citizens.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is get a man some grace. Give him some grace. We talked about this last week with when it came to Ridge, and now of course Liam is going to do what Liam normally does. But I mean, calling this man names, telling him, well, you need to be doing this. It's like you can't tell somebody's brain how to process something. They can't process it the same way you do. I mean, these folks is want to probably throw a party in a parade that Sheila's gone, but he ain't there with y'all like that. Not yet. And I don't think he's going to be there because now all that he's been suppressing, or shall I say Steffi has been suppressing for the past 2.5 years, now it's all coming to the forefront. She never gave that dude the open door to go figure this out. And I got to give it to Taylor back at the end of 2022. She was the one before, was that the end of 2022 or 21? One of the two. But at Christmas time, when she was saying, hey, you know what? Why don't we have her spend time with Finn, spend time with Hayes, but we keep her close and watch her?
This had to be 2021 then, because I think 2022 is when she had shot him in the alley.
Okay, that's
2021.
2021.
Yeah, and because Thope was all 2023, so I know it wasn't 2023. So it had to be 2021.
Yeah, because that was before the label switch. That was before Grandma Kissing Santa.
Yep.
And she let Sheila come over. She invited Sheila over. Was that Christmas or it was a major holiday?
It was a Christmas.
Okay.
Yep. And so, because he has every right to try to figure that out. He had questions. He subdued it and put it in the back burner to appease his wife. And she was never going to let that happen. She kept telling him, you're not going to come anywhere near my family. And then she was telling Finn he shouldn't want to see her and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, that ain't going to work. So he's been suppressing this for the last 2.5 years. And now fast forward when this woman is now supposedly no longer here. All those feelings are now coming to the surface.
And then the sucky part about that, on top of carrying and suppressing that, he's carrying the weight of everyone's viewpoint and opinion and asking him to do something and belittling him. And it's a lot. I'm hoping if they were to go down the route like J Money was saying and make him a villain on the show, fine. I want him to be on some Jordan level type of stuff and just completely wipe out the Forcers. And
Mm-mm.
especially Liam. I it sucks that he came into a family who doesn't really truly acknowledge his emotions. They just say like, okay, so you went through that. Okay, get over it. And that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sheila did a lot of things, but like Steffi was saying, like, hey, she was still human, and I still took her life. That's at least she acknowledges all of the stuff that took place and how that affected her husband. And it's unfortunate that the only support system Finn can get is from Hope, and he's getting it now from Steffi, but that's it. He can't even get it from Lee, which is very sad.
Yep, I agree. And he's, like you say, he's trying to take on the weight from everybody else. He's taking on what he thinks actually happens. And he got to come home and go to sleep with the same person that supposedly got rid of it. That's why I've been saying this for the longest. She needs to stop telling that man what to do and how to think. You need to let him be what he needs to be. And I mean, he's providing, he's a doctor, he's taking care of the family, but you gotta allow that man to be able to process this. And now it's just a hot mess. It's a mess, and now he's dealing with it.
Yeah, they're not letting him process it. You have all these people telling him how he's supposed to be feeling, where he's supposed to be. And then they're also celebrating. They're damn near throwing a parade over his birth mother's passing. So that's a lot to deal with.
Okay, I'm looking at a comment. Nana, I guess she was talking to D. Spencer. Finn isn't supposed to feel anything but what Steffi wants him. Wait a minute, hold on.
Oh, maybe she's saying that's how they're portraying it. Like he should only be feeling.
Wait a minute, let me see. Okay. Yeah, okay, so D. Spencer says Steffi is always Steffi's focus point all day, every day. Pretty selfish if you ask me. And then Nana says, but Finn isn't supposed to feel anything but what Steffi wants he should feel. Who the H do you think you are? Not over my mother. It ain't happened, Cap. She said, ain't happened, Cap.
And you know what's funny? The person who's benefiting in all of this is Liam.
Yep.
And as much as he's preaching, he should be all about Finn should be all about Steffi, and he should be focusing on her needs and what to do for the family. When Liam was married to either Hope or Steffi, or got with whoever, he seemed to be focusing on his emotions and what suited him at that point in time, and how he wanted to get what he wanted to get out of the situation. I feel Steffi can be selfish, at least in this moment. I think while she's trying to process what she did, she's also trying to process how this affects her husband. I think she knows that her marriage is on life support.
Mm-hmm.
Literally in an instant. And Hope reiterating that. I think Hope reiterating like, hey, you need to focus on your family. Don't let that slip out. I think that has put a lot of salt in the wound for Steffi, because she knows this could be the very final, ending point for them.
Mm-hmm.
See, and this is where I think a lot of this is another situation where they dropped the ball. Why would you interfere with Thope? And I mean, we don't officially, I guess, unless the spoilers say otherwise this week, we don't officially know if they're going to completely go this route. But why would you interfere with Thope and kind of have Hope and be the one he's leaning on when we saw how much admiration, goodness gracious, what's Brooks' other daughter's name? Bridget.
Mm-hmm.
When we saw how much adoration Bridget had for that man, and people was like, wait a minute, like, why wouldn't you have kept her on and had her be that person?
Right.
That he could lean on, and because we definitely saw how she was talking and looking at him. Why would you interfere with the one couple that kind of got your show back hot again last year and messed that up?
Right.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I think they were Kim testing them, and then next thing you know, Ashley was gone. You
Uh-huh.
know, so they should have kept Ashley playing Bridget and kind of see where that could have went with maybe throwing her into the mix, and especially they work at the same hospital.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
could
well, now
have
he's talking about how he saved Steffi's grandfather. Well, that was that woman's father. So
right,
it's even
right.
more important to her. So her feelings for him would be, you know what I mean, even more intense. Like, you saved my father.
Yeah, and she even Ashley when she was interviewed, she was like, "Hey, I would love to stick around, but it ain't in
Uh-huh.
her
But she lives
power."
in New York, though. She doesn't live in LA, though. She lives in New York. They have made that woman's life based there. I would like for him, anyone but Hope. I would have liked for him to lean on Poppy. With since they already kind of roped this man into Luna's paternity storyline, like it would kind of add more depth to that versus randomly bringing Bridget in, and we don't know how long she's going to stay, and nothing, comes of that. Versus Poppy or Penelope is already here, and he's already roped into that. If you're going to give us layers with Finn, really give us the layers.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
two things with that. You spreading Poppy kind of thin here between Bill and Zende and now Finn. That's going to be a lot to take. And then with the Bridget situation, it's plenty. It's a couple of the actors that don't live in LA, right? And they come in and they film several episodes worth of scenes in what about 2 to 3 weeks of shooting. So they could easily work that out where she comes to LA for 3 weeks or whatever amount of time she needs, films her scenes, and then she can go back to New York. That wouldn't be like too much of a struggle for them to work out as far as her shooting what needs to be shot.
This is the same show who won't give Thomas a love interest for over 12 years.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
saying.
mean,
But I mean, we're
seriously.
just talking about the logistics of her. If they wanted her on the show, the logistics of her actually being there, like what they write, that's separate. But like actually being able to get her to film, that wouldn't necessarily be like a struggle or a big issue.
Oh, right, yeah.
Um. Oh, I guess we'll talk about that later. I mean, because their whole contract is still up in the air for one more year, so who knows what's going on with both. Um. But going back to this particular week between both Liam and Hope, both of them, he had jumped in, um, Finn's face, and then Hope is coming to tell and give unsolicited advice to Steffi. Steffi was not trying to hear it. She got defensive immediately,
Uh-huh.
and she was like, "Look, this ain't none of your business." But I'm like, well, wait a minute. You getting involved in Thope's business wasn't none of your business either, Steffi. So,
But I guess because Finn isn't Hope's brother, it's none of her business, and she has the excuse of saying, "Well, Thomas is my brother."
man, she can take that excuse and throw it somewhere. That man is grown. I mean, seriously, you cannot. That place is an open mosh pit. Steffi always jumps in different places when she think it's okay, but when somebody jump in hers, it's like this ain't none of your business. Same thing with. I mean, technically it isn't, but I mean, come on now. Y'all was doing the same thing. Finn was telling Hope not to be with Thomas. And
Uh-huh.
talking about as long as I breathe, you will never be with Hope.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was weird. Yeah.
Really? Really, Finn? So, I mean, I could understand Liam to. I can't believe I'm saying this. I can understand Liam to a certain extent because her mother's well being will impact their daughter mentally. But, coming up in his face telling him, I'm going to take your wife. If you don't want to be there, then I'm going to step up. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a whole problem.
And when he gets the girl, he don't do anything to try to keep her. He's already moving on to the next one.
Thank you.
It's like a conquest, ain't it?
And
Well, I've
then
conquered that. I've got her back again. Who's the next one?
I mean, even when, technically Sheila was alive, he was always saying, like last fall, I'll protect you. Really, Liam? From what?
And then you put up that clip, the clips
Yeah.
that show all of Liam's wimpy moments.
Exactly. Him being punched out by Stephanie and his father walking in the tree stumps. Dude, who you going to protect? You just throwing your weight around because you just trying to get up under Steffi. And like Bree said, the moment that he got her and then he gets comfortable, he's ready to put another foot right back out the door.
Yeah, he'll be ready to try to take hope from Thomas.
Exactly.
So he's no role model. He's just the man who likes to be next.
I got next, man.
I got next. You are so funny. Yeah. Guys, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Are they saying
Okay.
yes?
Can you guys hear us again?
Drop a yes in the comment section if you can hear me.
Yeah, it looks
Oh,
like
okay. She said yes.
because the picture came back. Yeah. Allison says she can hear you.
Allison can hear me. No, still nothing. Okay, Allison, Aditya says yes.
Aditya, Mary, yes. Blackpink, Spencer, D. Spencer, yeah, I said.
Okay, great. Woo! Thank you. I did not want to have to restart this live.
No.
And okay, it just all right. Oh, wait a minute, my battery is charged. What are you talking about? Okay. All right. Okay, can you hear me?
Can y'all still hear us?
Okay. Sheesh. All right, let's go ahead and let's keep it moving. Okay, I forgot where we left off at. Oh, I was gonna ask you guys a question. One last question. Do you think that the only reason that Finn went back, decided to take Steffi home, was because of the fire that Liam put up under him?
Yes. I think Liam came into Finn's office as a bit of a wake-up call. Because although Liam was saying, like, hey, I can take your girl, I plan to take your girl, but before you do that, I'm going to give you this last chance to try to make it work.
Yeah, okay, because I thought the same thing. I'm like, he was sitting there sleeping at the hospital. His mama couldn't convince him to go home. And then with Liam saying, well, if you don't, I will. Next thing you know, he's at Steffi's door at Forrester. So I'm like, uh-huh. He lit a fire up under him real quick.
Yeah, because he knows that Steffi is just inching away to go to her safe space, which is Liam.
Yeah, I also agree with you. I think that little confrontation or conversation, whatever you want to call it, did light a fire under him to go see her. But then, as we see, he really wasn't ready yet because he had that nightmare. So it's looking like he might end up leaving again.
I don't know. They're gonna next week, according to what I've seen with some of the spoilers, both of them are going to be struggling mentally with this whole thing. Because if he's already having nightmares about all of this, you know what I'm saying? It's like she's going to be thinking about stuff too, so it's going to be crazy. It really is. So, it's, I guess we're going to have to find out to see if they're going to be able to keep this marriage afloat. That's the biggest thing. So, all right, let's do our flip the script. We're going to go ahead because I don't know. I don't want my computer to do what it did before. That was weird.
Yeah.
And I know we've been on 2.5 hours. Okay. So, flip the script for Young and the Restless. What do you guys have?
I would flip the script on the music that was playing for Summer and Chance with something that would be more appropriate for their first time.
I know, right? Come on. Okay. What about you, Jay?
My flip the script would have been for Seth not to be so stupid and go out there blabbing his mouth and just putting himself in a really bad situation.
Gotcha.
That really didn't have to happen like that.
My flip the script would have been Tucker telling Abby to get the French toast out. Because it's like, seriously, you need to go talk to your mama. Stop coming over here. I'm not doing anything. Bree, like you said earlier, he's moved on to, what you call her? Sealy? Tempur-Pedic. He's moved on to Tempur-Pedic. He ain't got nothing to do with Ashley. Ashley keep coming after him. Tell Abby to get out. That would have been my, sitting up there listening at this girl talking. Girl, go somewhere with your bad. Even Devon told her, don't go over there talking to him no more. All right, what you got for bold for your flip?
For bold, I would have liked if Finn were really just lay into Liam and remind him as to why Steffy is with Finn.
Okay. Jay?
My flip involves Finn too, but my flip would have had Finn knocking the fudge out of Ridge and Liam after taking so much disrespect from them in the past week. I don't know how he just sat there and took that. Ridge sitting there telling him what he need to be doing, and his mama was an animal, and not showing any kind of consideration for what he's feeling and going through. Both the boys needed to be knocked out.
I know. Tell me about it. I'm trying, cause okay. My flip would have been between the whole thing with RJ, Luna, and Zende. Just let Luna tell RJ and let the pieces fall where they may. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Might as well get it out the way now. Rip the Band-Aid off and deal with the wound and let it heal. You know what I mean? So, all right, who's taking seats on The Young and the Restless?
Who's taking a seat? I would have Phyllis take a seat. She needs it. She done lost her mind trying to chase after this man. And I would say, I guess Jordan's wigs. All of her Sally Beauty Supply wigs.
Oh my gosh. Jay.
I have two as well. Mine is also Phyllis for losing her mind and going crazy, chasing after Snape from Harry Potter. I don't know why she keeps bothering that man. And then Seth, because this idiot got himself unalive by Jordan.
I know, right?
Into the oncoming traffic.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Yes. He has a permanent seat, a 6 feet under seat.
Right. Oof, Lord. Abby need to take a seat. And Victor's security team need to take a seat for calling Tessa Jordan. It's like, how do you...
About 30 years younger than that
thank you. I'm like, how you going to mistake Tessa for Jordan?
God. Jordan, she had short hair, even with the wig. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I mean, Colleen Zink, she's, I think, 71, 70, something like that. Tessa's like 32 or something like that. It's like, yes, the security team need to take several seats, and the fact that they let Victoria's house get burnt down.
And what was the words Tessa used? She was bothered or uncomfortable with it.
Right.
I would be bothered too if I was 32 and they thought I was 71. Like, damn, what's wrong with my makeup?
Oh my, that was the crazy. I couldn't do nothing but laugh. I'm like, wait a minute. Did Tessa just say that the security team mistake her for Jordan? I
Who
could.
wrote that? Somebody lazily wrote that in the script.
Yeah,
They
why
probably
would you
forgot
write that
that
in?
girl who took Tessie had seeds today, so they had to write something in for it.
Why would exactly? Why would you even write that? The height difference is there. The age difference is there. That's her hair, not a wig. I mean,
Yeah, whoever was writing the scripts that day took an early lunch
or
on
something.
that day.
And then one more person made me need to take a seat for trying to undo the merger. Girl, if you don't take your 10% and sit down somewhere.
Maybe I'm just maybe still thinking about prices in the 50s and 60s where you could get a hamburger for a quarter. I guess you think you could get 10% and turn a whole company around.
You a fool. I mean, she think that
That
she
nigga
gonna
with
be
no
able.
10% in 2024, woman?
I mean, come on now. She thinks she got 10%. Listen, I don't think Mr. Wonderful on the Shark Tank would have get out of bed, as he would call it, for 10% of what she trying to talk about the undo a merger. Come on. Mm-mm. Anyway, bold. Who's taking seats?
Land of the Lakes. I feel Liam's hypocrisy needs to take several seats. He need to go sit back on his daddy's couch.
Mm-mm. Okay. Jay?
Ridge and Liam.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But just the utter disrespect. This man, Ridge's part, this man just saved your daddy. At the
Mm-hmm.
very least, have some consideration.
Right.
I'm not even saying have sympathy because I know you hated the woman, but have some consideration. And then Liam, you bring your little weak sauce self up in there and talk about something you finna be there for somebody's wife. If you was there for her when you had her, you wouldn't be in the situation that you in now. So yeah, they both need to take seats.
I gotta say, and this is a different type of seat. Finn and Steffy need to take a seat on a couch. They gotta talk to somebody about this. This is traumatic for both of them.
You know who's great? Her mama.
Yep. Bring a Taylor back. Some Taylor back. I don't know. If you can't get Krista, you don't want Krista, bring somebody else. Just Taylor needs to come back. Her mama's a therapist to help her and her husband get through this. So.
Like she did the last time.
Exactly.
Before Steffy left the country.
Exactly. All right, right quick, because so far so good is hanging in there, because I wanted to touch on this a little bit. March previews. The only thing that really stands out to me is this so-called proposal next week that, Thomas is going to do a final proposal. Some people calling it an ultimatum. I honestly hope that it's an ultimatum. It's like, look, little girl, I've been giving you vitamin D for the last 6-7 months. Y'all, you got the ring around your neck. I've been asking, begging, and pleading for you to be my girl, be my woman, whatever. And you like, I don't know. I have to think about it. So I hope it's an ultimatum like, look, either you gonna move on with me or we ain't doing this no more. I ain't gonna keep giving up the goods, laying the pipes.
I mean, he's benefited to some degree. He's not going to feel like a complete used puppy because he's still made the choice to give this girl a ring, and he did not need to do it. He knows she can't make a clear decision, and she keeps doing that to this day. And this is why Little House on the Prairie is little tink tink to some degree herself, because it's like you're able to help everybody out, but you can't help yourself out and make a clear cut decision. And we're almost a year into this storyline.
Yep. You are absolutely correct, girl. It'll be, July.
Okay. Now, T, is this also the week? Well, I don't even know if those were officially spoilers, but remember, I think we talked about it. There was like a spoiler or a rumor that Thomas was going to start getting jealous at seeing the bond between Finn and Hope. If those were true, is that happening this week? This upcoming week?
It's probably. Hold on, let me see something. Here we go. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, it's probably be over the next couple weeks because with Finn continually to go on a downward spiral, and according to the March moments that's coming ahead, anger divides Finn and Steffy in the aftermath. Now, some of that is starting to already happen. They came together. But if he's still having them crazy nightmares, he's going to be pissed off because next week I did see a spoiler where, she's trying to get intimate with him and he keeps seeing Sheila. So, my thing is Hope is probably going to be instrumental in helping him get through it because you can Ridge and the rest of them, they're going to be like, dude, you're going to have to get over this. Hope is the only one that's probably going to be like, give him some time. And of course, if he's not talking to Steffy and they're being divided, he's going to find somewhere to go who's going to understand him. And the only person that is Hope. And with Hope trying to be that sounding board for him, that takes away time from Thomas.
Now, look, once again, they're giving us these spoilers. Remember last time when they said, I guess it was the first proposal, when Thomas proposed to Brooke, when Thomas proposed to Hope, they had said that, I can't remember verbatim, but you remember they had led us to believe that it was going to change everything. Her answer was going to be shocking. That's kind of what they said. And we all expected that it was going to be yes, because her saying no at that time wouldn't have been shocking. So we thought it was going to be yes. Now the spoilers for this says that this proposal is going to change lives. So her saying no is not going to change lives. It should be her saying yes that's going to change a lot of things going on. So are we getting played again?
That's a good question. I mean, if he makes the final proposal and she said no and he breaks up with her and say, at this point, then it's going to change lives because she's going to be devastated. He's going to walk away. I don't know if that's going to actually happen. But I'm just saying if they go that direction and if she does say no, how can it change lives? Because then he could be done. Because a lot
of... we see an immediate push of her and Finn.
Could you imagine? I mean, honestly, they've been Kim testing
each other and that kind of stuff. Like
that's
what they mean.
They've been Kim testing, big time. Finn and Hope. They've been doing that for a while now, which tells me that eventually they're probably going to try to either create a triangle or move her totally toward Finn, because he has. If Steffy and them are angry with each other, they're divided. The Forresters are divided. His mama she don't understand because of the fact that Sheila tried to unalive her too. The only person that he can really confide in that's going to be a counselor and he's going to be able to cry to and deal with these nightmares is Hope.
Little house on the prairie. I know.
And if they do push her to Finn, and a lot of people feel like, well, the show needs a villain, and with Sheila being gone for now, will this put Thomas back in his villain era? Will we start to see...
I hope not. I mean, but we do need a villain, because just say, for example, they do get rid of Sheila, and she's gone. There's no her coming back and May sweeps. Who's the antagonist? We don't have one right now. So unless Liam is around poking in Steffy's relationship and being a jerk and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But somebody got the...
Steffy naturally grow apart anyway because of this. Liam won't have to do anything.
Exactly.
He'll just be there for Steffy. And then if they have the Hope and Finn thing progress, then that'll put Thomas on the outside looking in. Correct. And I can see potentially that, bringing him back to his villainous ways.
That's true, too. So anything is possible. And then the other two things for March is, we already talked about the division, the proposal, and Deacon emotionally mourns his beloved Sheila. So it looked like he's still going to be struggling too for a while, which, that's understandable. So we'll see how that go. And then one other thing we're going to talk about, because I know everybody's asking about it, is the third, or this new soap opera that CBS, and I mean, Bree was saying, we were talking about it earlier, how it's all over the media. Everybody's excited about it. People are coming up with their dream cast members, all types of things. And from what I understand, it's going to be a very diverse show. It's going to be primarily, I think, African Americans, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That's what it looked like it was led to be. It's going to be ran by some African Americans, right? As far as like the two leads that's running the show.
And it's supposed to be about some wealthy African American families that's living in a gated community. It's a half an hour show. I do know that much. So there was questions about where can they get the most traction, because a lot of new shows, I mean, soaps are struggling right now. I mean, Days had to move to streaming. GH is the only soap that ABC has. And then it was 3 soaps already on, well, 3 or 4 on CBS, because it's Guiding Light.
Well, Guiding Light and As the World Turns are both gone.
Right, both of those are gone. Of course, Bold and Beautiful, Young and the Restless is left. So how do we get a new show in a time when soap operas are struggling in the daytime slot? Because they had to look at demographics. Now, from what I understand, Young and the Restless first of all, they got a renewal of their contract for 4 more years. So they're going to be around to the 27-28 season. Is that 4 years? No, 28-29 season, probably, or something like that. So they got 4 more years. Bold got 1 more year into 2025, from what I understand. Allegedly.
Yeah, but they're supposedly still like actively negotiating, and they said that they're not worried about,
the fallout or whatever, or if anything is going to end. I don't perceive that. But one thing I did find out about The Young and the Restless is that it's been at the top of the soaps ranking, and it has a higher population or demographics of African Americans viewing the show. Really, I didn't know that until a couple days ago. And so, with that being said, where would you put the gates, right? So, I mean, would you, because I know here, you got Bold, because you're in the same area I'm in, Jay. I don't know. What time it come on for you, Bree? Bold.
Bold comes in at 1:30.
Okay, Young and the Restless?
12:30.
Okay, all right. So it comes on for us at 11:30 here, and then Bold comes on at 12:30 here. So where would you fit that soap? My idea would to stick it right in the middle. Because, I mean, if you put it beforehand, it's earlier in the morning. And I don't know if you got game shows and stuff. Price is Right ain't moving its slot. It's been at 10 o'clock since my mom was watching it in the 70s. If you put it too far in the afternoon, that's the transition period where some people getting off work and stuff like that. So where do you get the most traction? Because people are going to watch Bold. People are going to watch Y&R. So what do you guys think? Should it go in the middle, before Young, or after Bold?
I feel like there's no slot for them, because I can't see them changing Y&R slot, and I can't see them changing B&B slot. Even though it's B&B is on a 1-year contract, they've had loyal fans for over 30-something years. I cannot see them changing either of those slots. And what H had brought up, they're not going to get rid of, they said they could replace the talk, but that'll be replacing a whole a daytime chat thing that
Yeah.
always has a cushioned like time slot. Unless they move that to 3, I would be okay if they made both Y&R and Bold and Beautiful an hour, and then the Gates can fit somewhere in between that as a half an hour show.
I'm looking at the comments section. Some people are saying stick the Gates in the middle. Let me see. And then a lot of people are giving them out what time this show.
For me, my idea, it kind of fits along with you, and I'm looking at it from our time perspective. What I would do is, because here we have that local CBS News right before Young.
Yeah, from 11 to 11:30.
Yes. So what I would do is I would just cut that off at a half. Cut that half an hour off of that. Start Young and the Restless at 11 instead of at 11:30. Have the Gates in the middle, and then have Bold after Gates.
I don't think they're gonna.
It would be 2 hours straight of programming because you get the news multiple times in the day.
I don't. Well, I don't think Bold is going to have any control over it. I mean, because that's a local news station. I would think because they have to traction it along with the other time zones. Because from what I think, somebody that I know that lives in the mountainous time zone, Young and the Restless come on at 10 o'clock over there or 11. But it's their time. They're an hour behind us.
So I kind of agree with Jonah. I feel it should go to Paramount Plus. I feel like a lot of things are being streamed nowadays. I feel it'd be safer for the show. Because Y&R and B&B, their slots are not changing.
Well, they said CBS daytime. I mean, if you got to pay for Paramount Plus, it's extra. And
add that for a new show.
For a new show,
you're gonna have some people that, especially bias, looking like it's gonna be a primarily African American show. You'll have some of the demographic being, maybe wanting to do that. But if you want to really capitalize on that, I don't think a brand new show going straight to streaming is going to be you want to put that on daytime TV with the other show because you want to grab some of those viewers that are watching those other two soaps to come on over to the Gates.
Yeah, because they said CBS daytime. They didn't say Paramount Plus streaming. You probably can watch it. So I think they're adding it to the lineup on CBS.
But T, if you're putting it in the middle, the reason why I was thinking about cutting the news segment half an hour, because if you're putting it in the middle, something's eventually getting cut off by half an hour anyway. You know what I mean? The talk would start half an hour later.
Probably so. They move. They move. Okay, so Jay, I don't know if you remember. Let's Make a Deal used to come on at 9 a.m. They moved them to 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
Barrymore used to be on in the afternoon, but now she's in the morning.
Right. So they probably can move those talk shows around, and maybe the talk show, and they're not moving The Price is Right. You can forget it. That show has had that. That show has had that slot for over 50 years. So, and Young and the Restless, I don't think they're going to move that either. They're not moving Young and the Restless.
You wouldn't be able to put that in the middle then, would you?
Go ahead.
Because if you're moving the other talk shows like Drew Barrymore's or whatever other talk show, but you still want to put it in the middle, is what you were saying of Young and the Restless and Bold. So you've got to move those other two somehow, some way, right? If you want to put the Gates in the middle.
Well, here's the thing. It depends on when the Gates are going to start, because I'm wondering if it's contingent on whether they're going to renew Bold after next year. Now, I see people in the chat is saying that the show is going to replace Bold. I mean, I don't know where they're getting it from, but they got one more year. I don't know until they decide what they're going to do. All right.
I think the contract's all the way to 2025.
Right. That's what I'm
So
saying.
the gate, and that's what I'm saying. The gates, it's going to be really difficult to find that place, that time frame, that time placement, because, like a couple of people were saying in the chat, B&B has a lot of loyal international
Yeah, they
fans,
do.
and so
Australia and like Italy and Paris are
it's
two.
going to be difficult for, I know CBS would lose a huge fan base if they got rid of B&B altogether. If I feel like if they change the time slot, it could alter the viewership a little bit, but I just can't see where they could put the gates at. And plus, we don't even know when this show's going to even come out. It could come out in 2025. That's why I feel like if anything, they could put like at least a pilot on streaming, because most of the people, they work during the day now. A lot of people catch up with the stories on the streaming networks.
Yeah,
Well,
all I
remember, even when
know.
it grows, the shows are going to be on the streaming, even if it's just a replay. Like, you can catch Bold and Young on Paramount Plus or CBS app, even after they air on daytime. So it may very well just have both, just like those shows. They may have it air originally on, broadcast television, and then have it on the streaming for the people that weren't able to watch it during the day.
Okay, so according to this is supposed to be in the daytime lineup. This is have nothing to do with streaming. Um, yeah. So the question is, yeah, it says the gates would air on the CBS television network. So it's not going on Paramount. It's going to be part of the daytime lineup. So the question is, because I'm looking also in the comment section, a lot of folks are saying the ratings have been down for Bold, which is absolutely correct. It was down for like 35 weeks. And more often than that came from after Thope. With that whole Eric storyline, and a lot of people wasn't feeling all of that, and it's been up and down, because the two good storylines we had in the past 2 years was the fashion show between Hope and Thomas at the end of 2022, and then Thope in the summer of 23. Other than that, the ratings have been sucky. You got writers leaving. One of the head writers is the one that's going over to write the gates or to lead it or whatever. So, I don't know. I don't want to say that they can, because that wouldn't be my place to do that. But, if they don't get these ratings together, anything is possible.
I agree with that. At least they have until 2025. I think Casey Casper, I think Keisha said that on the other live, that they're in contract negotiations, that they do, this is a common thing. I think in this particular case, the gates, it's still kind of like, I think it's a great thing. I think it's up in the air. It wouldn't surprise me if they put the gates after Bold. I would be okay if they cut the talk down to 30 minutes, but I've never seen a downsize a talk show.
I don't think they're gonna. No, yeah, I don't think they, unless they put it after. What comes on after the talk? In our town, Jay, do you know? Who? I can't hear you.
Isn't it Deal or No Deal?
No, they come on at 3. What comes on at 2?
3. Is it?
I'm wondering,
Is it Drew Barrymore?
Did she come on in the morning? I don't know who switched from 9 to whatever. So maybe that 2:00 slot for us.
I think the 2:00 spot is Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, well,
they switched her around twice, right? Because do they have Rachel Ray as well on CBS?
I don't. After Ball, see, that's the thing. When Ball goes off, I'm done. I don't even. I don't.
Goes immediately to the talk.
What you laughing at, Bree?
She said, "I'm done."
I
And
am.
at 1:59, I am done.
Yeah, when at 12:57 when the show ends, because it ends
Yeah,
around 12:57.
12:57. I'm gone.
I'm done. I don't watch the talk unless there's like a cast member from The Young and the Restless, like Jacqueline was over there the other day, but and then I can record that and watch it so I can skim through the rest of that stuff. I don't like talk shows like that. So, yeah, I don't know who come on at 2 o'clock.
And that's my other thing is that they put the gates after B&B. What's the viewership going to be like? And if they were to put that in between like Y&R and B&B, like that's where I get really worried, because I want this show to really have a chance, but I actually wanted to have like a really decent chance. At the same time, I don't want them to get rid of B&B. Would people be okay with B&B being gone and replace it with the gate, or would you rather for them to try to
Well,
squeeze those free shows
I
every day?
mean, the
Even
people.
with our disappointments with the show and the writing, sometimes I don't think anybody wants to see B&B gone.
I just think if
Okay.
they don't want to see Bo gone, but they gotta come
Yeah.
with better storylines. You cannot have a focal point around Thomas. I mean, around Liam, Steffy, and Hope for 10 years like they did, and that was the biggest problem over the past decade. Is that it always circulated between the three of them. It was on that y'all got rid of Rick and Maya and all these other people, the Avant family, and all, it's like it's only what 6 people we've been seeing for the past year or two.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's been Ridge, Brooke, Eric occasionally, depending on if he have a storyline. Bill goes missing for a while. We lost Wyatt. We lost Taylor. Steffi, Finn, and Hope are always there. And then we got Thomas. Thomas played a villain for so long, but how many characters is that? 6?
Uh-huh.
Whereas Young and the Restless, we had 9 storylines this week. Now, granted, it's an hour, but even still, with the Young and the Restless being Bold being a half an hour, you can have more storylines than just focus on Steffi, Liam, and Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Thope gave it a boost last summer. It grabbed the attention of non-soap viewers. But
And that was because it was years and years of build-up to get to that point.
exactly, the CPS storyline, the horrible storyline they did with Bill and Sheila and the blood and them sleeping together.
Yeah. The whole weird thing where, when you look at what happened, if they would have just let Steffi and Finn testify,
Right.
she would have been in jail.
And then they went through that whole FBI scandal to bring Thorsten back off of a 3-month hiatus. When he could have just came back, and then he was getting married to Taylor, and then the CPS call, and now he's with Brooke, and it's just like, what happened to the fashion shows? What happened to the hostile takeovers? What happened to rival companies? And we did get a couple of fashion shows, but okay, it's not like it used to be. And we have we have more characters on the show. Plus, the diversity has gone down.
And it's not like the diversity was ever like really high on Vogue anyway.
Right. So that's why
more than this, at least.
I think somebody dropped it in the comments section. That last storyline with Eric, they lost 400,000 viewers. To be honest, you guys, I had to actually cringe to get through doing those recaps that during the months of October through December. I just wasn't interested. I don't like seeing people cough up blood, and I just don't like doctor storylines. That's one reason why I don't watch General Hospital. But I just don't like stuff like that. And so a lot of people were skimming through it. And so it affects the ratings. And ratings make money for the network because, you got people got all these commercials that show up. They're paying for that. And if ain't nobody watching the show, the people like, why we got to pay you, to show our commercials when ain't nobody want to watch it? So they took a hit, and they have been taking a hit because me and Keisha, we talked about this on this podcast 5 years ago. It's like, y'all got to do something different. You can't have this merry-go-round between Finn, Liam, and Steffy like they had with Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor 20 years ago. It's not working in the 2020s.
You know what I wish? I wish Brad Bell did like a focus group or something like that. Especially since it seems like almost every year, like they have to wait for a contract renewal. That's what at least it looks like. But because there's no real vision for us to show, and like I keep saying, like every week, I watch a lot of the older seasons. I'm in the middle of season 5 right now, whereas one episode you got a lot of fresh dialogues, and that had moving parts, and the stories just moved along. I wish I knew Brad Bell's, like, what is his vision for his characters on the show, because you can only do so much with Brooke, you can only do so much with Ridge, and you can only, flip-flop and marinate in rotisserie love triangle so much and try to feed it to us and say it's baloney. It's not, it doesn't. He needs to kind of get a focus group, get people together, real fans who are dedicated to the show, and ask, what would you like to see or what's exciting. I think Casey Castlevick does it on his live, but I feel like oftentimes when I watch the live, it seems like, he takes a suggestion and then it's kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is they already filmed 4 weeks ahead. So even if he's talking about something today, I would think he would put it and say, hey, let's take this back. But they already, what they're filming today, we will see in April. You know what I mean? So I just hope that they don't cancel the show. I am excited about the Gates. Because we do need passions, traditions. Those 2 soap operas was very diverse out, and no, of course they're no longer here. I get my fix watching Sisters. Yes, I do. Oh my God, it is crazy over. And because Tyler Perry, as much as I don't watch anything else by him, but with the Sisters TV show, it's always a shock feature with many different characters. So you always shocked about, oh my God, did that just happen? Did this just happen? So it keep you watching every week. And the other thing is only once a week, whereas soap operas are daily. So I don't know. I'm hoping that they can keep both. It would be 2 hours worth of soaps if they put them together, because both Bowl and Gates are 30 minutes. So we'll get an hour of Young and the Restless, and then the second soap hour, we should be able to get the Gates and the Bold and Beautiful. It depends on if they put them together, though.
So it's just a matter of if B&B is going to take the hit, or they're going to try to fit the Gates in somewhere and they reduce the talk to like a half an hour. It's a lot up in the air until 2025.
Now, I will tell you,
add a salary to those hosts on the talk. I don't see them cutting that show to a half hour at all.
Oh, no. No. If anything, they'll move the slot, but I don't see them canceling that show. The other thing,
I can very well never see them putting the Gates before Young and the Restless.
You can?
I can see them doing that as well.
I don't know how. They would have to move Price is Right to do that, because I don't think they're going to move.
Well, no, you could just slide everything down.
You want to put that at 11:30, you mean?
Start that off at 11:30 instead of starting Young at 11:30.
I would assume that it would start, and I'm assuming this, don't take this for word, if they was to start the Gates, whether it's this year or next year, it would probably be in September, because that's when the new season starts.
The fall season starts, yeah.
Correct. That's when the new season starts for all the soaps, and all of that is in September. The new lineups, any new shows coming in, even in prime time, it usually starts in September. So I would keep my eyes open to see if they started this September or next September. And if in fact they are, which I hope not, trying to replace Bold, then and if they don't, after next year, they're like, let's cut it, then we'll probably end up seeing them next fall.
You know, it would be really upsetting if, because I don't want B&B to go, and at the same time, I want the Gates to be on network television because that'd be awesome. But it's just what happened. My concern is viewership because as much as we talked about it with Bold, what happens if the Gates is not going to get the viewership that they're looking for, being in between B&B and Y&R because everyone's so used to that B&B slot being there.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Let me ask you a question. Guiding Light used to come on at what time? 9 here, Jay?
That had multiple slots too. When I used to go to my grandma's house after school, Guiding Light used to come on in the afternoon.
Okay.
And then they had to put it on at that 9 a.m. slot at one point. So that's been a show that's been on in the morning and the afternoon.
Okay, so it's possible that they will be able to move the soap operas around if they've done it in the past.
Young and the Restless used to come on later than 11 o'clock too. They were in the afternoons as well. When they had all 4 soaps going.
You're right.
Both turns used to be on at 1.
That's what I remember that as a kid. It's coming up in the 80s, and it used to come on at 1 o'clock here, and they moved it to 11:30. So, yep, you are right, Jay. Because I remember when we would have half days, my mom did not want us to watch soaps at the time because she thought it was a little too risky. We were little kids though, but that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, at the time they did have it on 1 o'clock. And so what that technically means is that they could shuffle things around as they wanted to.
And then Bree, to kind of answer what you asked about what if they don't get the viewership that they want, that's why they usually try to put shows on between or after a successful show.
Right.
Because they be hoping the viewership of that show will carry over. So, like, they do this every year at the Super Bowl. If they're debuting a new show, like they just did this past Super Bowl, as a matter of fact, a soap actor himself, Justin Hartley, who used to be Adam on Young and the Restless, he's leading a new show on CBS called Tracker, and they debuted it after Super Bowl.
Yeah, because they
were the most watched event, and they was hoping they could get at least a percentage of those viewers to stay on and watch his new show Tracker.
Yeah, it's just they want it to spill over. That's why I was saying maybe they should slide it in between, because after you get through watching an hour of Young and the Restless, those watchers, those soap heads, and I'm a soap head too, so it's not a derogatory term, a soapies. The soap opera watchers are still tuned in for more drama. Just like we're tuned in for more drama coming off of Young and the Restless to Bold and the Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hold on, Jay. So to have Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful come on, and then there's 2 shows, a talk show and something else, and then you gotta now chime into the Gates at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There's lag time there. People done got up, moved around, started doing other things. Keep them in soap frame of mind if they can stick Gates in the middle. In my opinion. I don't know if that's what they're going to do. But go ahead, Jay.
That makes sense. Well, yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say, and they'll do a good job of promoting it. They'll show new CBS lineup and all of that stuff, so they'll get people knowing what to expect, so people won't say, what is this? Where's Bold? If they were to put it in the middle. So, they would go overtime trying to promote the new time slots and the new show.
And then to what you were saying, Bree, about viewership and keeping the viewership, what they need to do, you know how they give a trailer? Give us a trailer of some hot drama to let us know what this show going to be about, to be like, oh man, this going to be good. Don't just have the show come on and now we got to learn the characters and try to figure out a way. It might start off slow. Give us a trailer before, if y'all listening, writers, whoever, give us a trailer just say if they started in September, somewhere in July, they need to start throwing out the trailers, maybe once or twice a week, on the weekend, whatever, to get everybody excited about this show. You know.
Well, it's getting public attention.
But could you imagine, like you said, with Debbie, what's her name? Morgan, I think you mentioned Bree, Debbie Morgan in the chat, and Victoria
Yeah,
Rao.
Victoria Rao, that they would be great as far as like at the top of the wish list.
Mm-hmm.
My only thing, because I do have to go here in a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
My only thing is I just hope they don't get rid of B&B, because my fear is I don't want there to be any resentment for the Gates. I want them to have a chance. I'm hoping they just keep all three shows for daytime, because if they get rid of B&B, who's been around for almost 40 years, a lot of loyal fans, even internationally, that it's going to create a lot of fuss, and I don't want that for this new show. That's all I'm going to say, but I do have
I see what you're saying. If they drop kick Bold for this show, people going to be pissed.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question for y'all. Do y'all think all three of these shows will be like in the same universe? Like with the Gates being it's looking like it's going to have a lot of diversity on it. Could we potentially see like a Carter crossover on there to handle like a legal issue with maybe somebody?
That would be nice.
Or
Amanda.
Kind of establish the universe, yeah.
Yeah, a Carter, Amanda. Yeah, see that would be, even if we got Amanda full time back on there, Rome Flynn, some of the old cast members from Bold and The Young and the Restless to come and fill in. Maya. Bree, what do you think?
I don't want to say too.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no, only because like we always ask for crossovers between Y&R and B&B. If they're gonna let Gates be its own separate thing on daytime, I just want it for it to be that.
You just want to be fresh faces?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fresh faces, something new, something different. If they're going to do crossovers, they need to cross over to their sister shows. Y&R crossover to B&B and vice versa.
Because I don't think, what's his name? Bell. He has no say-so in this at all.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not even attached to this. This is part of the NAACP, and yeah, this ain't got nothing to do with the Bell company. So yeah, they probably wouldn't cross over. So all right, we're going to end it right here. I know it's late. It's about almost 11:30 on the East Coast. But I wanted to make sure, because I know people were asking in the comment section on my recaps whether or not I was going to talk about the March preview, which we touched on, and the new soap opera coming to CBS called The Gates. And I kind of wanted to get some perspectives and let us talk about it with you guys, because I know some of y'all was looking for a standalone video, and I'm like, no, I'm going to talk about this live with you guys. So, so you can hear our thoughts, not just mine. You can hear Jay. I was hoping Keisha and Trish, I might talk with them next week to get their thoughts on this, so we can see what they think as well. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I touched on that before we end the show. All right. Y'all got anything else before we shut it down?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good as well.
All right. Thank you guys for filling in. We didn't have Keish or Trish tonight because Trish had something going on, and then obviously Keish had something going on too. And also stay tuned for the spoilers for the week of the 11th through the 15th. And other than that, we will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.